and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at Accunet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money too. That's ACCUNET.com.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make outdoor living unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Hey, boaters!
Where else are you going to find weather stripping for a 77 Carver? That's what he said, and I don't know the answer to that one, but he sure was glad he found it here. I'm Dave Doro with Kendor Marine, and when it comes to boat parts and supplies, we have it all. If you're a boater and you need it, we got it. And that's why you got to get here. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
Inexperienced boaters are more than welcome here, because at Kendor Marine you'll find all the answers to your questions on parts, installation, troubleshooting, and the best part is, when we figure out what you need, we can grab it from our massive inventory of boat parts and supplies that no one around can match. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Burkhart.
Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
The Bucks' next West Coast trip begins in the Golden State against the Warriors.
Hands off to Giannis. Giannis down low, stuffs it down with a one-hand slam.
Our coverage starts tonight at 8:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 6 o'clock. I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. Tuesday, March 18th, our top story, back to school for Milwaukee police.
I'm Erik Bilstad. A wildfire burns.
I'm Debbie Lazago. Right now, looking pretty good across the whole area. No major incidents to report. No delays either. Volume's relatively light. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast for today. Mostly cloudy, but mild temperatures. Highs in the 40s if you're north of Milwaukee. Around the city, about 53 for your high temperature. Could see close to 60 if you're in the southern part of the state today. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low down to 40. Right now, we're at 45. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, City of Milwaukee and Milwaukee Public Schools have satisfied the judge's order now to have 25 school resource officers in MPS buildings.
MPS and the City of Milwaukee appeared in court for a final hearing.
I'm granting a request from the city to purge or vacate the contempt order. They've complied, so there will be no fines going forward.
Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge David Borowski dismissed the case with a stipulation.
Subject to reopening in this court, not in somebody else's court, but in this court. I'm not going to allow another judge to handle this.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The SROs are working in pairs now. The president of the Milwaukee Police Association, Alexander Ayala, tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News why this strategy matters.
You want to have a partner because you always want to work in a pair. My many years in uniform, sometimes you work with a partner, sometimes you don't. And having a partner, I think, is better for both the officers and the students, for personal safety.
The SROs will enforce the law, but not school policy.
Fire crews with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources fighting a 720-acre wildfire in Green Lake County. They're calling it the Big Island Fire. Broke out at White River Marsh State Wildlife Area Monday. Still burning on state and private lands. 2 homes have been evacuated. So far, no injuries, no structures lost. The DNR says there was no approved prescribed burn in the area at the time of the start of the fire.
A shooting outside a gym in Glendale leaves a man in the hospital. 30-year-old injured Monday afternoon in the parking lot of Elite Sports Club on Good Hope. Glendale police say the shooting was an isolated incident. There's no threat existing to the public. No one is in custody at this time.
President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin set to speak today, trying to find common ground in an effort to move ceasefire talks with Ukraine toward a deal.
Former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Stephen Pfeiffer says the two sides may not be near compromise yet, but he thinks there's a chance if Ukraine gives up some territory and Russia stops opposing a security guarantee for Ukraine.
Because they don't want this war then to break out again 2 or 3 years down the road after Putin has rebuilt his army.
Pfeiffer says what President Trump does may be significant.
The United States as the broker is leaning towards Russian positions.
Michael Toscano, CBS News, Washington.
One of the federal agencies that President Trump has tried to eliminate is responsible for capping your credit card late fees and overdraft fees. The U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was created in response to the financial crisis in 2008. Economics professor at the Universities of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, Rebecca Newman, tells WTMJ about a law implemented just months ago.
The beginning of the year was they banned the inclusion of medical bills on credit reports, and medical bills are one of the leading causes of bankruptcy. So they're certainly doing things that are protecting consumers and trying to reduce the amount of fees that consumers are paying.
Court orders have sent the CFPB's consumer response team back to work to process more than 16,000 complaints.
Breaking news overnight, Israeli warplanes launching an airstrike across Gaza, the largest since the ceasefire began in January. The BBC's Yolanda Canal.
Israel said it was hitting dozens of Hamas targets, with officials suggesting that the operation was open-ended and expected to expand. Israel will from now on act against Hamas with increasing military strength, the Prime Minister's office said. Senior Hamas security and political figures are reportedly among the dead, but doctors say many children were also killed in the airstrikes.
Gaza Health Ministry reporting more than 300 people dead.
The Federal Reserve is kicking off a two-day meeting today that will end tomorrow with a decision on interest rates.
The Federal Reserve is expected to hold interest rates steady at around 4.5%, despite encouraging news on inflation and amid concerns tariffs could cause a recession. The Fed had lowered interest rates in 2024, though signaled a slowdown in rate cuts this year. After Wednesday, the Fed's next chance to change interest rates will be early May. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up, a 9-month-long journey soon coming to an end. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 6:05.
Get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month at PellaWI.com.
Being a Pella consultant means helping people build their dreams.
For Jenna, helping others find joy is so rewarding. It's why we love to do what we do.
I enjoy simplifying the process for the customer, taking the time to listen, and finding the right solution.
Randy understands that everyone's situation is different, so we don't just slap together cookie-cutter solutions.
Customers really appreciate just how prepared we are. All the samples, the videos, pictures.
Jake arrives at your free in-home consultation with pre-prepared materials to fully envision your dream Pella build.
We're with you from start to finish. You literally have a friend from beginning to end and beyond with your project.
Whether you're working with Ryan or another Pella consultant, we don't go away after the sale. We're ready with anything you may need before, during, and after installation. And right now, at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2025.
If you're a woman looking to take control of your financial future, you are not alone. Women are leading the way in business and managing household finances, but challenges still exist. That's why Annex Wealth Management presents the Women in Wealth series every third Thursday. It'll empower you with knowledge and resources to succeed. Join us for collaborative discussions, community building, and learn about key areas of financial planning. Women in Wealth events are free every third Thursday. Sign up at annexwealth.com/events and bring a friend.
This March, Heiser Automotive Group is putting the pedal to the metal with our Accelerate Your Refund sales and service event. Tax season is the best time to upgrade your ride or take care of your current vehicle. And we're making it easier than ever to turn your tax refund into turbocharged buying power. Accelerate into a newer used vehicle or get essential repairs and maintenance done. Plus, with Heiser's exclusive Safe and Sound program, you can buy and service with confidence, convenience, and peace of mind. Visit Heiser.com today.
See dealer for complete details.
Celebrate a
birthday, anniversary, or retirement this week with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill. Buy one dinner, get one free, 7 nights a week. Google Fox and Hounds restaurant and enjoy your free dinner.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 6:07.
For this Brewers rival, the Major League Baseball season is already underway right now. We'll do it in sports at 6:15.
Milwaukee is one of 8 regional sites for the upcoming NCAA men's basketball tournament, which starts this week.
And it's a great opportunity for the city to show off for first-time visitors. Dale Koinga is the president of the MMAC.
19,000 visitors is the number. You're going to see a lot of jerseys. You're going to see a lot of folks downtown.
Visit Milwaukee projects a $3.5 million economic impact, but Koinga sees a greater long-range opportunity.
And these tend to be a lot of younger fans here, and so when you're talking about companies that are trying to recruit folks here and they get a sense of what Milwaukee's all about, this is a great opportunity for the city.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
First and second rounds of the tournament will be played in Milwaukee Friday and Sunday.
Later today, 2 American astronauts expect to feel solid ground beneath their feet for the first time in 286 days.
Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore have spent more time in space than just about anyone, mainly because the spacecraft that took them to the International Space Station had technical issues and had to leave the ISS without them. This morning, Williams and Wilmore climbed into a new craft and undocked, and now, according to NASA Audio,
Crew 9 is currently in their sleep period at the moment, getting some rest and looking towards an upcoming splashdown off the coast of Florida later this afternoon.
Jim Ryan, ABC News.
So off the coast of Florida east, that means they could get them back on dry land fairly quickly.
It sounds like it usually takes a day or two to get reacclimated, if not longer.
Think of the atrophy in the muscles and all of those things, and then there's just you're no longer in space.
So will they be at the White House on Thursday?
Perhaps. 6:10 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Checking in with Debbie here at 6:10.
All right, still looking pretty good across the area. I'm not really seeing any kind of incidents up there, no delays, and volume is super light, so we're moving along quite well so far. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. More areas of clouds for today and high temperatures reaching towards the low 50s as we get towards lunchtime. Warmer down to our south and west towards the state line. We'll see high temperatures near the 60s, 40s off to the north. Tonight, most 40. Wednesday, a crazy day of weather. We'll see the chance for showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. High temperatures in the 50s. Then it turns over to a mix and over to snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, more sunshine. High temperatures near 40. Friday, partly cloudy and dry throughout most of the day. Small chance for an overnight rain shower with temperatures in the 50s. Then for Saturday, partly cloudy skies with high temperatures in the lower 40s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee at 45 degrees.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here are your hosts, Vince Vitrano and Erik Bilstad.
6:12 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Erik, when is the spring election?
It's coming up. It's April 1st.
Yes.
2 weeks.
It's also today-ish.
Happening today on Wisconsin's Morning News.
The spring election, April 1st. Yeah, 10 points for Erik. But happening today, clerks can begin offering early voting, or more properly called in-person absentee voting. So this is where you go to the clerk's office at city, village, or town hall, or some other designated site. You have an absentee ballot that is issued to you there on site. You fill it out right there. They keep it, and then they count it on Election Day. At least most of them, except for in Madison, where they may or may not discover a bag of ballots, but that's a whole other story. Think closely about what I said, though. The law in Wisconsin is clerks can begin on this date offering this service, but they are not, according to the law, compelled to do so. Exactly. So another quick aside, I renew my call for us in Wisconsin to provide equal access to the ballot for all voters. Because while in the city of Milwaukee, for example, there are 10 locations where early voting will be offered, including hours on Saturdays and Sundays in some of those locations, some communities will have far fewer opportunities. Waukesha, for example, you can vote only at City Hall, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. typically. Some of those hours may be extended, no weekend hours.
Well, isn't that Waukesha's fault? If you want more, then you call Waukesha.
I'm not suggesting Milwaukee's doing anything wrong. They're doing as much as they can under the law. Other communities with fewer resources argue, well, we can't stand up sites all over the place and just have, some of these situations. I think the clerk is probably a volunteer position or not very well paid. It's not a full-time job. So in some situations, you have a clerk in a rural community saying, all right, Wednesdays from 3 to 5, we'll do it. But my point being, I don't know, we don't have the polls open in Waukesha at 6 a.m. and everybody else at 7 a.m. or whatever. So how is this any different? Nonetheless, on everyone's ballot, high-profile race, of course, that for state Supreme Court, Judge Brad Schimmel of Waukesha County, former state attorney general, versus Judge Susan Crawford of Dane County. Also race for state superintendent, Jill Underly, the incumbent, Brittany Kinzer, the challenger, and the statewide constitutional referendum on photo ID. Also in your local community, there may be municipal races on the ballot. But those are the three statewide that everyone will see. In-person absentee voting can begin today. 6:14 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you. Our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Vince, we told you Monday about the puzzle of what the Brewers should do with their infield, right? They have different infielders. They've got to figure out what to do at shortstop and all that. Well, it sounds like they might have a plan now because of Bryce Terang's sore shoulder.
It's not a good way to come up with a plan, right? Well,
unfortunately.
I guess this guy can't play, so.
So his throwing shoulder's is sore, so at least for now, it looks like they're not going to move him to shortstop. So MLB reporter Adam McKelvey says it looks like Joey Ortiz will get the nod at short. Terang will stay at second, at least for now. Pitcher Tobias Myers, he's going to start on the injured list to start the season with an oblique strain there. Brutal spring training game, by the way, on Monday. Brewers' 7-game winning streak snapped. They fall 14-8 to the Padres. 382 pitches thrown in this game. Just a lot. Wow. Like just a very slog of a game is what the paper called it. So anyway, we have the better game today, this afternoon. Brewers baseball. Brewers and Mariners are covered starts at 3 right here on WTMJ Radio. By the way, Major League Baseball has started.
Happening today on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Happening right now. After 4 innings, the Cubs lead the Dodgers 1-0 in the Tokyo series. So this game counts for real. They play a 2-game series, so they're starting today. They got another one tomorrow. Then I think they take a week off and start the season just like the rest of us next week. So Craig Counsell was asked about the biggest adjustment of having to play over there.
Athletes eat a lot. They eat a lot. They eat more than you think. So when the food is different, they complain, unfortunately. But also they need to eat, so they need to get adventurous, and that's what this trip has kind of forced them to do. Again, we talk a lot about like get out of your comfort zone, and that's where the good things happen. The food part for a lot of these guys is where it's happened. I think that's a relatable story for anybody that spends some time in a different culture.
Makes sense, especially if you're the first time in a new place, and hey, we need to consume a ton of calories, got to eat a bunch of whatever, and you're not digging the food.
Yeah, and it's one thing if you're on vacation. It's another thing if your body is your tool to ply your trade.
Yeah.
Right, and you need to inject fuel.
Mm-hmm. So one of the adjustments. Anyway, Cubs-Dodgers, the season has begun.
Bucks have a man down. Team announced Jericho Sims, recently acquired as part of the Chris Middleton trade, had surgery on Monday, repairing a torn ligament in his thumb, expected to miss a month. The Bucks hope to have him back in time for the playoffs. Bucks out west this week. Got Golden State Warriors and a 9 p.m. tip. Oh, my goodness. Too late.
West Coast.
9 p.m. tip, 8:30 pregame right here on your home of the Bucks, 620 WTMJ.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
So how is that possible? 1.9% real estate commission? There must be something you're not telling me.
I hear that a lot. The truth is, everybody could do it, but they choose not to because folks keep paying more than they have to. I guess they just haven't heard yet that Century 21 Benefit Realty can make that 1.9% real estate commission promise on the sale of your home and stick to it. So I'd like to think that's going to make your decision easy. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Connect with Best Electric for panel upgrades, electrical vehicle charging installation, and residential electric service calls. Visit bestelect.com today.
620 traffic is sponsored by the residential and commercial electrical experts at Best Electric. It's bestelect.com. Debbie?
All right, looking good on the roads right now. We do have a broken down vehicle southbound 94 right about at Rawson. It is on the left shoulder. Just something to keep in mind. Otherwise, everything else is rolling along well. I'm really not seeing any kind of delays or incidents up on the board. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Traffic also brought to you by the shower remodel experts at Kohler Services, WI.com.
Cloudy and mild today, a high of 60 degrees to the south, 53 in Milwaukee, a little bit cooler to the north. Tonight, cloudy, a low of 40. For Wednesday, rainy and storms are likely. Could we even see a snow mix there at some point, a high of 53. Thursday, a chance for snow early on, breezy, clear sky, 40. Friday, a high of 54. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 43 at 621.
The Marcus Performing Arts Center revealed its 2025-26 Broadway season in a special event Monday night. I attended I am bringing this back to you now. Still
nice.
4 shows left on this season, by the way. But these will be the shows that run from fall of 25 into next summer of 2026.
It's the story of America then, told by America now, Hamilton.
That's Chrissy Deer. She's in town from Broadway across America that programs traveling shows for venues all across the country. In town for this season review. So Hamilton got maybe the biggest cheers from the audience.
Okay. Popular show, of course.
and still super hot as it travels around the country. Hundreds of donors, season ticket holders as well, were invited. I spoke with the Marcus Center president and CEO, Kevin Galinto.
When we ask our audiences what they think and ask the general population in the region what they think of the Marcus Performing Arts Center, and the number one thing that comes out is Broadway.
So Marcus Center also announced its dance and jazz seasons, but the Broadway shows, as you heard Kevin say, biggest attraction.
Sure.
Right? Where do you see the Broadway shows? Okay, we
With
go
the
to
Marcus. Yeah.
So Hamilton is part of a 9-show lineup that was announced. Hamilton comes in late January of 2026. Marcus Center celebrating 30 years of Broadway shows with Broadway across America. A few more highlights from Chrissy Deers, who works closely with all of the venues, particularly here in Milwaukee, to put on every season. You don't have to say this just because I'm here, but do we get the good shows in Milwaukee?
You do get the good shows. I mean, we're bringing Kimberly Akimbo, which is the Tony Award-winning Best Musical from 2023. It's fabulous. It's wonderful. It's got a lot of heart and humor as well to it. But Monty Python's Spamalot, which was just revived on Broadway, lovingly restored for Monty Python fans. But it's a great mix of shows. And Anne Juliet is just a crowd pleaser. I'm so excited. I'm like Kevin, that's kind of be the one I'm most excited to see.
So you heard her mention several of the other titles. Kimberly Akimbo, I'm not really familiar with. I've heard the name of the show.
Okay.
I believe it's a younger person who has a condition that causes her to age physically. So I think it's set like in a high school setting, but she appears older than she
intriguing.
is. So interesting. Monty Python Spamalot, you heard her mention that.
Mm-hmm.
And then And Juliet, super hot on Broadway right now, a musical with contemporary pop titles. And I'll let Kevin explain the plot a little bit.
Modern take on if Juliet hadn't joined Romeo in his demise.
Spoiler alert if you hadn't seen it.
And there's a lot of contemporary pop songs in it, so people are going to be very familiar with the music, but it's a fun look at if she had a second chance to kind of go through life.
Yeah, spoiler alert. If you weren't familiar with it,
Thanks for the heads up
she
now.
dies in the actual one. So in this new one, right, Juliet goes on and experiences life after Romeo, whom she knew for about 48 hours. Oh, by the way, remember that?
I was going to say.
Right. So that will include popular titles. I kind of think it has the feels of like a Moulin Rouge, where you're hearing like, oh, I know that song. That's this person. That's right. So that is coming for the family. Mrs. Doubtfire will actually kick off the new season. Musical based on the movie. That opens September 30th. Around Thanksgiving, Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical.
There you go.
I always love, and you've had this, bringing your kids to the theater. Like when we saw Frozen and we saw Elf this last holiday season, and you see all the littles.
Oh, they love it.
Dressed up and doing their thing. And for a lot of them, that's their first time going to a theater, going to a big show. So it kind of gets them in, and that's fun for the family. Kimberly Akimbo, as I mentioned, Hadestown in March of 2026. The Wiz will be the Milwaukee premiere. They've remade the show for Broadway, and that will be coming. Once again, going into summer with And Juliet and Spamalot. I mentioned Hamilton in 26. Anniversary year for America, 250 years since the Declaration. So they're going to make a big deal out of Hamilton touring.
Makes sense.
In that
That's cool.
Semi-sesquicentennial?
That sounds about right.
I'm sure, right? Thereabouts. It's 250, okay? And we're missing a show here. Do you hear that, Eric? Do you hear the people sing?
Here we are.
Les Mis, October 28th of 2025.
Wow, still cranking.
It's an excellent show.
Number one most requested by Marcus Center patrons, according to Kevin. Said people ask every year, Les Mis coming this year? Les Mis coming this year?
No, it had been, 5 years since it'd been here? I feel like I've seen it at the Marcus.
That sound right, Deb?
Yeah.
Maybe
sounds something. I mean, it has been
Pre-COVID?
here. I mean, maybe 5 years.
Probably,
like that.
It was probably long. It's probably been 12.
Yeah, I would think that they would be asking about Hamilton more than Les
Well,
Mis,
they got
but
it.
Wow, they
And
got both.
Not for nothing, still a bunch of great shows this season. Closing late this summer with a 3-week run of Wicked.
Obviously, with the movie, it's very, very popular as ever, pun intended. But it's going to be awesome, and people, come down. You can see the full musical, the full version, if you come see the musical.
You mean there's not a second
you don't have to
part?
wait for part two. You just come back from intermission, go to the bar, grab a drink, and then come back.
So I'm told Wicked is about 80% sold already. Wicked comes to the Marcus Center at the end of July. There is your 2025-26 lineup. News about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 353 points to 41,842. The NASDAQ up 55 to 17,809. And the S&P 500 closed at 5675. That was up about 36 points in trading on Monday. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Welcome to another episode of Find Your Career Rhythm, brought to you by the LAK Group, who help companies and professionals harness their true potential. LAK, discover your human advantage. Today, I'm joined by Mike Milstead, co-owner of LAK. And Mike, we were talking about a crazy stat. The average worker today spends less than 4 years at a job before leaving. That's the lowest it's been in 2 decades.
Yeah, generationally, it's even a bigger deal. We found younger workers are only spending about 2.8 years at a job, whereas boomers were spending right around 10 years.
So why do you think that is, Mike?
Well, millennials and Gen Z, they really view careers much differently and through a different lens. They see it less as job hopping, more as career exploration or development. With the rise of mergers and acquisitions reshaping company cultures, there's less emotional attachment to these organizations, and people tend to change more frequently.
So, Mike, that's got to be tough on companies. What can they do about it?
Well, at the LAK Group, we've identified several strategies companies can use to retain top talent through career development. The first we've seen is investing in employee growth. If your team is seeking new skills and opportunities, help them out with that, provide that to them so that they don't feel the need to look elsewhere. Secondly, prioritize flexibility by fostering a healthy work-life balance. Lastly, encourage internal mobility by allowing your employees to explore new roles and career paths within your organization. You're really giving them a chance to switch jobs without leaving your company. These steps not only enhance retention, but also build a more engaged and loyal workforce.
So how can your team, Mike, at LAK help companies take advantage?
We offer culture-building programs aligning your leaders and internal processes to this opportunity. We also build customized leadership development programs and even have a new coaching on demand platform for younger workers because they really appreciate that it integrates professional coaching and AI to people when they need it.
Thanks, Mike. If you or your company, you're interested, you can head to LAK's website at transformingcareers.com. Coming up on 6:30, I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. Tuesday, March 18th, our top story. Returning to the polls across much of Wisconsin.
I'm Erik Bilstad. A long Milwaukee saga ends for now.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Everything is looking great out on the roads. Really can't complain too much. Volume's just starting to wake up a little bit, but overall, no delays and no incidents. That's your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
High temperatures in the 40s to the north of Milwaukee, around 50 degrees in the city, and 60s to the south of Milwaukee. Mostly cloudy and low of 40 tonight. Right now at 45.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas appears to be over. Israel pounding parts of Gaza with airstrikes overnight. That's a scene near a hospital after the attacks. The Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry says more than 400 Palestinians were killed. Israel says Hamas did not agree to extend the terms of the first phase of the ceasefire as Israel wanted. President Trump will talk with Russian President Vladimir Putin on the phone this morning about a possible ceasefire in Ukraine. The Fed kicks off its two-day meeting today.
The Federal Reserve is expected to hold interest rates steady at around 4.5%, despite encouraging news on inflation and amid concerns tariffs could cause a recession. The Fed had lowered interest rates in 2024, though signaled a slowdown in rate cuts this year. After Wednesday, the Fed's next chance to change interest rates will be early May. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Today, President Trump will release the entire government file related to the assassination of JFK. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 6:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Decision Wisconsin, early voting, or in-person absentee voting, as it's technically called, for the April 1st election begins today across the state.
The early vote period runs from now until March 30th, though each local municipality sets its own early voting process in Wisconsin. Voters who need to register or re-register to vote can only do so at an early voting location through March 28th. Another important deadline is the day before on the 27th. That's the day most voters must make a request for a mail-in absentee ballot by. Those mailing those ballots in should do so at least a week before April 1st to make sure their clerks receive it before 8 p.m. on Election Day. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The school resource officer saga at Milwaukee Public Schools is coming to an end, at least in the courtroom.
Now that SROs have officially started the job, the city of Milwaukee has avoided fines and contempt of court, but the state legislature still wants an insurance policy down the road.
To prevent MPS or the city from backing out of this.
Representative Bob Donovan tells WTMJ he hopes the Senate and Governor Evers will move his bill forward, which threatens financial penalties for noncompliance.
Any law that is passed that doesn't include some consequences for breaking that law isn't worth the paper it's printed on.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
What exactly are the duties of school resource officers? President of the Milwaukee Police Association, Alexander Ayala, telling WTMJ.
We're there to enforce the law. We're not there to enforce any policies that MPS has. We don't want to, get in the middle of their policies. We're there to enforce the law when somebody breaks the law. But I don't think that stops the officers from interacting with the kids in a positive way to say, hey, we're here to help you. We're here you can trust us.
SROs are working in pairs at their assigned schools.
Young person is dead after a crash in Jefferson County that shut down a portion of I-94 on Monday morning. We followed this all morning long here on Wisconsin's Morning News. Debbie was on this story since it started. Well, a car drove into a ditch on the freeway near County Highway F on 94 on Monday. Now, the State Patrol tells us someone in that vehicle then walked out of the car into the roadway and then was hit by a semi. It's unclear at this point if anyone else was in the car, but the State Patrol has identified that person only as a minor.
Registered sex offender has been arrested for recording children at a grade school. Racine County Sheriff's Office took 43-year-old Paul Shelton into custody March 13th, accused him of multiple violations, including failing to update his sex offender status. His significant other, Dana Colglego, was also arrested for bail jumping. Their children have been placed with Racine County Protective Services, charges still pending.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:34.
Traffic is sponsored by the all-new Burghardt Sporting Goods.
The all-new Burghardt Sporting Goods, the Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center in New Berlin and Fox Point.
Coming up, an update to the EMU.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
Junior Achievement of Wisconsin has had business technology from James Imaging Systems for several years. Lori Salzman, Vice President of Enterprise Services, explains why.
We started with the document imaging, and I have to say that the service and support has been fantastic.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company.
I've never met an organization that is so responsive to make sure that we are up and running all the time for us to be more efficient and allow us to focus more on the work that we do for helping young people.
Lori, what's your recommendation to others that aren't getting that kind of attention from their business technology company?
Please call James Imaging because they will work with you to make sure that you find a solution that can make you more efficient and productive.
Make the call, 262-781-7700, or visit JamesImaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Are you on track to achieve your retirement plans? Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We've recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move to Creative expands our ability to provide comprehensive wealth management, investment advisory, and retirement planning services. Now is the time to put your lifetime of hard work into action. For over 37 years, we've helped clients toward making their retirement dreams become a reality, and we'd like to help you too. And the best part, your plan will be completely tailored to you. Our in-house team of specialists will take the time to learn about you and your family, review your current situation, and find out what your goals are. Then we'll design a plan to help you get there. To get started, request your free meeting today with one of our fiduciary advisors by visiting creativeplanning.com. Whether you have met with us in the past or this will be your first meeting with us, we're excited to introduce Cowell Investment Group to you as Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com today.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:37.
Can the Bucs maybe get this guy back in time for the playoffs? Sports at 6:45.
An update on the Slinger Emu.
Let me tell you of an interview with an old man emu. He's got a beak and feathers and things with the poor old fella.
All right, so we told you last week about an emu statue that was stolen from the Piggly Wiggly in Slinger. It's like, 4 feet tall, something like that. It's part of the Shanky's Whip liquor display.
Liquor display, emu.
So
stolen right there in broad daylight.
Yeah, there are pictures of the alleged thieves, a man and a woman caught on surveillance camera, like in the middle of the day, just putting it in the back of their car.
So it's not even college students.
Doesn't look like it. Police shared all those photos on Facebook. We do have them on our website. If you text the word emu, E-M-U, we'll send them to you. 855-616-1620 if you'd like to see. Well, we do have an update. Shanky's Whip is now offering a reward. They'll give you a bag of merch for information leading to the safe return of the stolen emu to the Piggly Wiggly. Also, they'll give you 2 emus. In a show of solidarity, Shanky's Whip says, 2 of our flock have volunteered to become your personal home mascots. And they'll bring you some merch if you can provide any leads leading to the missing emu. Now, Slinger Police shared this post, and they also shared their case number for it. So that would lead you to believe that police think this is a real thing. They're not. They're
not in on some sort of ruse.
Right.
Police departments don't do that.
They wouldn't.
Right?
If this was a marketing, ploy, right?
Some
Slinger
sort of
PD,
stunt by the liquor company.
Yes,
right.
Slinger PD wouldn't be interested in being a part.
They're not
Well,
posting
why
it.
wouldn't the company just send a new emu to the store?
Well, they have.
That's not as good of a story.
But
Deb.
that-
we need to
If
find
we're
the
talking-
original
okay.
emu.
So that is the
this
marketing.
emu is out there
Yes.
somewhere.
The marketing
could
of
be
it
cold, could be hungry.
Could be needing its medication.
We kind of thought that very good. Could need some medicine.
Clock is ticking.
We did kind of wonder that it would show up maybe in Town Square or something, or maybe at Little Swiss or something.
Yeah, like what are you doing with it if not
With outfits on.
comedy?
Right, yes. So as of now, nothing.
He was chasing a female he knew. As he shot past, I heard him say, she can't fly, but I'm telling you, she could run the pace of a kangaroo.
Looking ahead to life's next adventure? Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. Whether you're buying a home or launching your dream business, we know there's a lot on your plate. But here's the thing, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1946, we've helped Wisconsinites like you secure, protect, and grow their version of the American dream. Our team is ready to tailor the perfect plan for you. Learn more at ANSAY.com. That's ANSAY.com.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here. If you ever have an emu on your roof, what you want is Tri-County Contracting to take care of that roof for you because of the weight of the emu.
Hey, Pancake, don't send this one to Chuck. Okay.
Tri-County Contracting. Here's what Tri-County Contracting does. They do the worry-free roof tune-up. So if you have any issues with your roof, you have them come, they take a look, they replace shingles that need to be replaced, they figure out the gaskets, they put some new caulk on there, and they also take care of any emu damage that may have occurred when you live in Slinger. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and they're also doing windows, by the way. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Restaurant prices are soaring, but not at the Mine Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here, one of my favorite places, family-owned for almost 50 years. I took my daughters there. Great memories. It's super affordable, and it's so much fun. Every Tuesday, the authentic Mexican buffet is all you can eat, and it's just $9.99. It's the best Tuesday dining value, $9.99. Kids 5 and under eat free today from that kids menu. They can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area while you finish up your meal. Stop today after school. Check this out. The Wednesday all-you-can-eat fish fry is just $7.99. Whoa! That's crazy. From 2 till 5 today, beers, cocktails, and appetizers are half price. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and just off Highway 41 in Oshkosh, right near EAA. Walk in today for the Tuesday all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for under $10. MineShaftRestaurant.com. It's the amazing Mine Shaft.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlawn's Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlawns.com when you're due for service.
Checking in with Debbie here at 642.
All right, looking pretty good across the area. Not really seeing any incidents and no delays either, for that matter. Volume definitely starting to pick up a little bit, especially on the bypass, but overall, everything is looking just fine. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. More areas of clouds for today and high temperatures reaching towards the low 50s as we get towards lunchtime. Warmer down to our south and west towards the state line. We'll see high temperatures near the 60s, 40s off to the north. Tonight, mostly 40. Wednesday, a crazy day of weather. We'll see the chance for showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. High temperatures in the 50s. Then it turns over to a mix and over to snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, more sunshine. High temperatures near 40. Friday, partly cloudy and dry throughout most of the day. Small chance for an overnight rain shower with temperatures in the 50s. Then for Saturday, partly cloudy skies with high temperatures in the lower 40s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee at 45 degrees.
As we speak, Vince, happening right now.
Happening today.
3 astronauts who were aboard the International Space Station are hurtling toward Earth.
Were aboard, you say?
No longer.
All hooks open.
All hooks are open. And undocking confirmed.
The pod was undocked.
And undocking confirmed. Freedom is free of its moorings. Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore begin their belated trip home.
Sonny and Butch are on their way home 9 months after they were originally supposed to come home. And by the way, they're not the only ones on board. There is another astronaut named Nick Hague.
We know the station's in great hands. We're excited to see what you guys are going to accomplish, and we'll be waiting for you. Green Iron's going home.
All right, so here's what happens.
How long was Nick
next.
up there? 2 weeks?
Yeah, ooh, must be nice, Nick.
Well, I can't wait to get home. Whatever, Nick.
After
I really miss
bidding
my family.
Their station crewmates farewell, Haig and the other two, floated into their Crew Dragon undocked this morning around midnight Central Time. 16 hours later, the flight plan calls for an automated 7.5-minute deorbit thruster, and then they will slowly roll in after a 27-minute free fall. Imagine free falling for a half hour.
Nope.
So around 6 p.m.-ish Eastern time, they'll splash down off Florida's Panhandle and the Gulf Coast.
So you predict a White House visit for Butch and Sonny for sure, right?
Whether I don't know if it'll be this week.
I went up and got it. Here they are.
But absolutely,
I told
did.
Elon
Don't you?
to get them.
Don't you? There'll be
Yes,
some
for
kind of
sure.
huge celebration there. It's going to be rough on the two of them. It is very punishing to return to Earth after being in space that long. You're going to deal with weakness, dizziness, balance issues. So it takes a few days to get back up and running. But once they're back, I'm sure they'll be at the White House.
All right, you were talking about the food overseas for these MLB players. How about a nice hot meal here on Earth? 6:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make outdoor living unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here for QC Kinetics. You know, one of the questions always asked is about QC Kinetics treatments. Wanting to know if you should consider it for your own joint pain. Well, if you're wondering if you're a good candidate here, let's see if you answer yes to any of these questions. First, is your quality of life impacted by chronic pain in your knees or your hips, your pec, or other joints? Do you have trouble sleeping or maybe even walking? Do you want to avoid surgery? Are you tired of painkillers? If the answer is yes to any of these, then yes, you could be a great candidate for QC Kinetics. And it's really easy to find out. Just call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Check in with QC Kinetics. Get yourself a free consultation. You can even meet them on a Saturday, and you can walk through the process and learn if it's going to work for you. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Well, it sounds like the mystery's over. Bryce Terang is going to be at second base instead of at shortstop. Lots of conversation about who is going to play short this year with Willie Adames out. There was talk that it'd be Terang. Well, he's got a sore shoulder. So it sounds like for now...
Get him that shorter throw then?
Yeah, they're going to keep him at second, give him a couple of days off, and Joey Ortiz will be your shortstop.
We don't have to have it figured out for the 162-game season today, right? You can move guys.
So that decision was made. We'll see how that goes from there. Brewers' 7-game winning streak in Cactus League snap. They fall to the Padres 14-8. Up next, the Mariners this afternoon. You can hear that game right here on WTMJ Radio. The Major League Baseball season, by the way, has already started. It's underway right now. The Tokyo series has begun. It's the Cubs and the Dodgers, and right now Dodgers lead in the 6th 3-1.
It'd be awesome if we were already ahead of the Cubs before the season sort of.
3 more innings.
Warriors, Lakers, Kings, Suns, and Nuggets all in the Bucks Western Roadie, which begins tonight. Golden State, 8:30 pregame, 9 p.m. tip right here on WTMJ. Bucks aren't back home until a week from Friday. And they'll be without Jericho Sims, perhaps for the remainder of the regular season. Sims injured in Saturday's win over Indiana, had surgery Monday to repair a torn ligament in his thumb. Bucks hope to have him back for the playoffs. College basketball tournament gets underway today. 2 of the 4 play-in games tip off tonight. St. Francis and Alabama State, followed by North Carolina versus San Diego State. Wisconsin plays on Thursday afternoon in the opening round, Marquette on Friday night. This college basketball tournament update is brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Here's something you don't see every day. Knicks and Heat, Monday night at the Garden. Game was halted because of a situation on the side of the court. Here's how it sounded on ESPN.
There is a little delay here. They're cleaning up courtside. I believe a fan lost the contents of their stomach courtside. And it is currently being dealt with.
Yeah, so a sick fan on the court.
Yeah, he puked.
On the court.
All over the court.
You know who the fan was? Comedian Tracy Morgan. And there's video of all of it,
I know there is, because Erik insisted on showing me the video over and over.
I did not show it to you more than once.
And then in your feed, other people throwing up, including a horse.
Careful when you search for stuff. So anyway, no real word on what happened to Tracy Morgan, though. They wheeled him out of there, so a lot of concern over his health. But yeah, so that caused a delay, but they were able to finish the game.
Man, that is not how you want to go out.
No.
Watching courtside, right?
No, with everyone there to see.
6:49 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Whatever you want to call this season, we're over it. Time to look forward to...
Fly ball, right field. It is deep. It is gone!
Spring training is finally here and back on the radio.
Christian Yelich over the batter's eye in center, and the Brewers lead it 1.
Make sure to catch our next spring training broadcast as the Brewers take on the Mariners Tuesday at 3. No matter the season, we are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga here. Spring is here, and this week, WTMJ's Home Improvement Showcase is featuring Kohler Services, the local brand you've known and trusted for 150 years. Kohler Services offers a completely personalized design and remodel of your existing bath or shower space with their Luxstone showers and walk-in baths. Either can be installed in as little as a day or 2 from their team of experts. In the month of March, Kohler is offering $1,000 off your Luxstone shower remodel and no payment financing until 2026. Check out our Home Improvement Showcase page on WTMJ.com to learn more.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
David Nason here, your trusted Fix-It-Show guy, here to give you some essential home maintenance advice. If you're dealing with leaks, stains, cracks in your basement, it's time to call the experts I trust at Accurate Basement Repair. They've fixed many of our listeners' basements, and the results were fantastic. Dry, secure, and peace of mind restored. Don't let basement issues mess up your home. Trust Accurate Basement Repair to get the job done right. Call them today.
Thanks, David. Accurate Basement Repair. We're not just good, we're accurate.
This report sponsored by Go Right Way. Let them handle your rides to and from the airport. Let Go Right Way handle your rides to and from Mitchell Field or O'Hare airports. Traffic. Let them deal with it. Parking. You won't miss the hassles. Reserve today at GoRightWay.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
6:52. How's the drive, Debbie?
It's looking pretty good right now. We do have a little bit of a backup eastbound 94 heading right past 68th Street, but nothing major. We're okay the rest of the area. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Forecast is sponsored by Dave Drakamp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. For the day today, it's going to be warmer to the south, a high of in the 60s to the south. Around Milwaukee, a high of 53, cloudy and mild. Tonight, cloudy, 40 is your low. Wednesday, rain and storms are likely. Could even see a snow mix tomorrow night, a high of 53. Thursday, a chance for snow early on, otherwise breezy, a high of 40. Right now, 43 at 6:53.
Joined by a friend of the program, the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Lori Nickel, this morning. Lori, I never would have guessed, and maybe you can describe this, but was this an impulse decision by you to attend a concert last minute? We're in Chicago?
Kind of. I mean, I needed to figure out what was happening with March Madness and media availability with Wisconsin and Marquette, so I'd been keeping an eye on tickets for this concert, and then just decided at 9:30 p.m. Monday night, okay, I can go, or Sunday night, I'll buy the ticket for Monday. So in that way, it was an impulse, and believe me, you pay a lot of money for impulse decisions.
Who did you see?
Okay, so BTS is this huge band that I love, but 5 of the 7 band members are still serving their mandatory military service in South Korea. They have to be in for a year, they have to 2 years. But one guy is out already. He completed his military service. His name is J-Hope. So, but you can imagine, like, if your favorite musician or your favorite basketball player, whatever, baseball player, had to leave whatever sports for a year and a half and then comes back, it's a big deal. So it was a lot of screaming last night. So, and it was just a lot. But it was a cool show.
Isn't this the oddest thing, Eric, knowing Lori as we do?
No, I mean, you guys, the thing about BTS, though, is these young kids and everybody, they bring these light sticks. So the woman next to me for 2 hours and 15 minutes is just shaking this blinking light stick constantly, along with the other 17,000 people. And there's only 1,000 of us who don't have the light sticks. And I can't see. I'm not sure when I got home. I think it was 3 hours ago.
Wow.
It was quite a thing. But it's a phenomenon. I really wanted to just see it and participate in it. It's really cool.
So who will be more tired today? Will it be Lori or will it be the Wisconsin Badgers who played, 4 games in a row and then get sent on an early week to what, Denver or Colorado?
Yeah,
to play on Thursday?
They didn't even get a Milwaukee bid. Can we? These schedules, you guys, that is diabolical. Plus, they played late Sunday. They played basically until a half hour before selection Sunday show. That's really tough on the kids. Throw that championship game away. Don't worry about their shooting percentages or whatever. Look at the semifinals game for your encouragement of what the Badgers. I hope the Badgers make a run just to show the schedule makers that they can do something. I hope they don't practice a single minute and just do walkthroughs from now until Denver, because that is so tough on the body for those athletes to play 4 games in 4 days. The Big Ten tournament, all these conference tournaments, I've hated them since day one. I've never been convinced otherwise. I just hate them. It should be regular season only.
I do like, I agree with you on the toll that it takes on the student athletes. And obviously, like, you want your best product to be forward starting Thursday and Friday in these opening round games. That said, I do appreciate the excitement of, except for some, and I think the Big Ten didn't invite everyone to the tournament this year because the Big Ten is now like 38 teams or whatever it is.
But the Big 38.
The fact that every team, for the most part across the country, has a last gasp, maybe we can find some life and go on a run here and make the dance. I do still like that. I'd hate to lose it.
Okay. I mean, I guess yes, sure.
Okay.
To me, the tournament is still the tournament. And I want to see the best, in every other sport. If you look at Ironman or if you look at the Olympics or whatever, everything is geared towards the finish. In athletics, you're always building towards that final strong push. And if you have something that detracts from that at the very end, that doesn't allow these kids or the athletes to play their very best. I mean, even in the NBA, they stretch out the playoffs and you go every other day, and they finally slow down because they want the best. But in college basketball, I always fear for that team, Big Ten team that loses the championship on Sunday afternoon. I'm always curious to see how they do for the rest of the tournament. To me, it's another challenge to overcome, and it's pretty tough.
Well, hopefully next week, Tuesday, we're talking about Wisconsin still alive in the tourney.
Right. Yeah, and Marquette.
Thanks, Lori. Good to talk to you.
Good night. See ya.
Good night. Good night. Nickel out.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Spirit Airlines expands its routes from Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport starting in May. The airline offers direct Thursday and Sunday flights to L.A., Baltimore, and Nashville for as low as $74. Gateway Technical College, which serves Racine, Kenosha, and Walworth counties, dissolves its Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion while eliminating its Vice President of DEI. The college cites Trump administration directives. Canadian manufacturer Vulcan Plastic plans to expand in Pleasant Prairie as the company broadens its manufacturing capacity and expects to add 83 employees. I'm Rich Kirchin with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp. Banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Your European experts at Fox World Travel are ramping up and busy as ever. With the trending spring and summer European travel season, Fox European experts mean you can maximize your time soaking up the warm weather, blooming flowers, and vibrant landscapes without worrying about your travel or missing a moment. Port hop along the Mediterranean with Viking or Princess, or design your own bucket list adventure with Insight Vacations. Visit us online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Your European immersion awaits.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to adventknows.com.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
7 o'clock. I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News, Tuesday, March 18th. Our top story. The election begins in earnest today.
I'm Erik Bilstad. Wildfires burn.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we've got some backups eastbound 94 from before 84th Street all the way to Holly Road. There is a broken down vehicle there off on the right shoulder, though. It's not in traffic, so everybody's just slowing down to take a look, I guess. Northbound 43 backing up just a bit from about Center Street all the way up towards Keefe. Rest of the system looking good. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast for today, a mix of high temperatures, 60s if you're near the state line, 40s if you're north of Milwaukee, and right in the middle around the city today. Mostly cloudy conditions, mostly cloudy tonight, low down to 40. Right now at 45 in Milwaukee. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Decision Wisconsin. Early voting for the April 1st election begins today across the state.
The early vote period runs from now until March 30th, though each local municipality sets its own early voting process in Wisconsin. Voters who need to register or re-register to vote can only do so at an early voting location through March 28th. Another important deadline is the day before on the 27th. That's the day most voters must make a request for a mail-in absentee ballot by. Those mailing those ballots in should do so at least a week before April 1st to make sure their clerks receive it before 8 p.m. on Election Day. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The City of Milwaukee and MPS are now satisfied with the judge's order and have satisfied the judge's order to have 25 school resource officers in the MPS buildings.
MPS and the City of Milwaukee appeared in court for a final hearing.
I'm granting a request from the city to purge or vacate the contempt order. They've complied, so there will be no fines going forward.
Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge David Borowski dismissed the case with a stipulation.
Subject to reopening in this court, not in somebody else's court, but in this court. I'm not going to allow another judge to handle this.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
These officers are working in pairs. President of Milwaukee Police Association, Alexander Ayala, telling Wisconsin's Afternoon News why that strategy is important.
We want to have a partner because you always want to work in a pair. My many years in uniform, sometimes you work with a partner, sometimes you don't. And having a partner, I think, is better for both the officers and the students, for personal safety.
Ayala saying the SROs are there to enforce the law, but not school policy.
After more than 8 weeks of quiet in Gaza, the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is now over.
In a surprise move, Israel breaking the ceasefire with Hamas, carrying out extensive airstrikes overnight across Gaza. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowing Israel will now act against Hamas with, quote, increasing military strength, blaming the terror group for refusing U.S. proposals to extend the ceasefire. Hamas warning the renewal of fighting will put the lives of 58 hostages at risk. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Wildfire burning in Wisconsin right now as crews with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources are fighting the 720-acre blaze in Greene County. They call it the Big Island Fire. A couple of homes have been evacuated, but no injuries, no structures lost so far. DNR says this was not an approved prescribed burn, so it started naturally.
The fight in Green Lake, or the fire there, is coming as red flags are flying again today in 8 other states, including Oklahoma.
In the village of Meridian, northeast of Oklahoma City, Marcus Marshall and his wife didn't have to be told twice to evacuate.
We couldn't grab anything but a phone, a purse, and a billfold, and we jumped in the car and we just left.
Returning days later to find their home in ashes. He and his neighbors, like John Nichols, have been tested by fire and floods and wind.
So I've lived in Oklahoma my whole life. Tornadoes, wildfires, but it's still a great place to live.
Jim Ryan.
And so now we rebuilt.
ABC News.
Coming up, a new development in the case of the missing spring breaker. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:04.
This report is brought to you by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
They did it again. Best of the best in the whole USA. Wisconsin's very own Siding Unlimited. Local and family-owned Siding Unlimited has won their 5th National Pella Platinum Premier Certified Contractor of the Year award. Siding Unlimited has been installing Pella windows and doors for over 30 years and doing it the right way. Top-notch installation by their very own amazing craftsmen. Homeowners rave about their beautiful windows, easy to open and energy-efficient Pellas with an unmatched warranty, and about the excellence of Siding Unlimited's installation experience. Peace of mind, durability, function, daily job cleanup. You need great new windows installed the right way. You need Siding Unlimited. SidingUnlimited.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The next time you're due for service, visit richlands.com to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 conveniently located facilities.
All AAA approved and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to serve you.
Richlands. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 7:07.
For virtually everyone else, the Major League Baseball season is yet to begin, but the Cubs are already losing. That story in sports at 7:15.
It's almost showtime for Milwaukee.
For the 10th time since 1984, the city will serve as a regional host site for the NCAA men's basketball tournament.
Can't count on it every year, but I think you could count on it every 2 or 3 years.
MMAC President Dale Koinga expects roughly 19,000 visitors to the city.
I've never heard someone who has visited Milwaukee and said they weren't impressed.
Expect a heavy dose of fans from Kentucky, North Carolina, and Iowa. Visit Milwaukee projects a $3.5 million economic impact. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
So the tournament games in Milwaukee will be held Friday and Sunday.
Major development in the case of the University of Pittsburgh student missing on spring break. ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
The parents of Suriksha Kunanki are now asking officials in the Dominican Republic to officially declare their daughter dead. She hasn't been seen for 12 days. Sources say her mother and father sent a letter to police acknowledging there's no evidence of foul play. We could learn today whether authorities will release Joshua Reeby, the man believed to have last seen Kunanki on the beach. He says they were hit by a large wave.
Authorities maintain Reeby is not considered a suspect, but they continue to examine possible contradictions in his stories while talking with investigators. It is 7:08 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I found a fountain of youth down there at QC Kinetics.
That's Henry Hinton, feeling like his young, active self again after treatments at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine.
I still have trouble walking down steps as I get older. I've had one treatment so far, and I can already tell a difference in my knee.
And that treatment at QC Kinetics used Henry's own natural healing properties, concentrated and placed right at the source of the pain. So Henry and patients just like him will enjoy long-term relief without surgery or downtime.
My knee is not hurting. I remember I was walking down some steps yesterday, and I thought, wow, this is not hurting when I walk down steps. I'm all in on it. I'm all in on QC Kinetics.
It's time to wind back the clock to days without constant joint pain. Start with a call to QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Connect with Best Electric for panel upgrades, electrical vehicle charging installation, and residential electric service calls. Visit bestelect.com today.
Traffic is sponsored by the residential and commercial electrical experts at Best Electric. It's bestelect.com, Debbie.
Okay, eastbound 94 is backing up out of the Zoo Interchange all the way to Hawley Road. There's a broken down vehicle off on the right shoulder causing a bit of a distraction, so watch out for that. Northbound 43 is backing up from Center Street pretty much all the way up to Keefe. Southbound so far so good. We're looking good there, and the bypass is nice and quiet as well in all directions. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. More areas of clouds for today and high temperatures reaching towards the low 50s as we get towards lunchtime. Warmer down to our south and west towards the state line. We'll see high temperatures near the 60s, 40s off to the north. Tonight, mostly 40. Wednesday, a crazy day of weather. We'll see the chance for showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. High temperatures in the 50s. Then it turns over to a mix and over to snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, more sunshine. High temperatures near 40. Friday, partly cloudy and dry throughout most of the day. Small small chance for an overnight rain shower with temperatures in the 50s. Then for Saturday, partly cloudy skies with high temperatures in the lower 40s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee at 45.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here are your hosts, Vince Vitrano and Erik Bilstad.
Coming up on 7:12 on this Tuesday morning, maybe the most important phone call on the planet today. President Trump planning to speak with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss a ceasefire and ultimate peace plan to end the 3 years long war in Ukraine. Joined live now from the White House by ABC News correspondent Karen Travers. Karen, do we know, is this going to be one of these where others are on the call with the president monitoring the conversation?
Yeah, I mean, the expectation is there'll be translators, of course, because of the language issues. But, the president has had senior officials who've met with Russian officials over the last couple of weeks. And, while the White House hasn't said explicitly who would be on the call, I think you'd expect that there would be a team because of the conversations that have taken place over the last several days and weeks. Though President Trump has also been known to meet one-on-one with Vladimir Putin as well. So we'll see after the conversation happens, which is scheduled for some point this morning. No set time on the president's schedule. We will likely get a readout from the White House or from the president on his social media account once it's finished.
Any indication of how he leads off, Karen? I mean, do we expect President Trump to sort of pitch the ceasefire that was brokered that with terms that may be acceptable to Ukraine?
I mean, he is wanting Russia to agree to the ceasefire that Ukraine had agreed to, that the United States had brokered last week, 30 days. Russia has not agreed to this. So the president's hoping that his intervention, his negotiating skills can get Putin to agree. I had asked him last week if he felt that it was necessary for him to have a conversation directly with Vladimir Putin to get the Russians on board, and he said yes. He has repeatedly said that President Zelensky doesn't have the cards to come out on the top of negotiations, but he's also threatened things against Russia, too, sort of expressing his frustration publicly that Russia has not given some concessions or agreed to things, talking about how he could make things not pleasant for them in a financial sense and put sanctions or tariffs on Russia. Tariffs would largely be symbolic. We don't do trade right now. There's not significant exports coming from Russia to the United States. And obviously Russia is already very heavily sanctioned. But that was an indicator that perhaps he was getting frustrated with the Russian position on this. So we'll see. The president has said during the campaign that he could end this war in 24 hours. That obviously has not happened so far. It's very complicated. And Russian President Vladimir Putin is going to be coming in trying to drive a pretty hard line on what the Russian side wants to see in terms of land grab, borders, and all of that after 3 years of war.
ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers. Appreciate the live update, Karen.
Have a great day.
So it says here that the Ukrainian president will be monitoring the talks with great caution and great interest. But obviously not in the room.
He has great interest.
I'd say so.
What did you guys talk about?
What are you offering?
7:14 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Kohler Services and Outdoor Living Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
We've had some really nice spring weather over the last several weeks. If it stays on this warmer side long enough, the Bugman tells me watch for wasps. Vince Vitrano here for the Bugman and Queen Bee, your best local pest defense. Yeah, Adam has a warning for folks right now. You may start seeing some. He says right now they'll be like lethargic. They won't be aggressive wasps. And if they're in your house, he says those are the new queens that most likely wintered in your walls, which is pretty gross. Also not great if you don't want a wasp problem to explode in spring. Let's get the Bugman out to your house now. Take care of this before it becomes a summer where you're afraid to sit out on the patio or walk out your front door. Local, family, veteran-owned and operated. 20% off your first service when you tell them Vinny sent you to the best in local pest defense. Bugman, queenbee.com.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. The best time to plan a funeral is when you don't have to. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
The plot thickens. Remember that? We heard that from Pat Murphy on Monday when we're talking about the infield. What's going to happen with the infield for the Brewers? What are they going to do as we get closer to opening day?
Well, the plot thickened in a way that we had hoped it wouldn't.
Yeah. The shoulder thickened up there for Bryce Terang.
Thickening.
He's got a sore shoulder, so they're not going to move Terang to shortstop, at least not yet. So he's going to take a little break and probably keep him at second base. That's what MLB reporter Adam McCalvy is saying. So it looks like Joey Ortiz will get the nod at shortstop, and you'll have Terang at second base, at least to start.
They're going to rest him for a few days, right?
Yes,
and then just put him back in there.
Right. Yep.
Give him the shorter throw.
Yep. Pitcher Tobias Myers, by the way, is also going to start on the injured list to start the season. He's got an oblique strain. Brutal spring training game on Monday. Brewers' 7-game winning streak snapped. 14-8 slog is how they described the game in the Journal-Sentinel. They fall to the Padres. We have the game today. Brewers and Mariners today. Our coverage starts at 3 o'clock right here on WTMJ. Meanwhile, Major League Baseball, the season has started.
Happening today on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Actually, happening right now. The Tokyo Series is happening. So MLB has begun 2025. Cubs and Dodgers. Right now, LA leads 3-1 in the 8th inning there in the Tokyo Series. So this game, of course, in Japan. Interesting comments from Craig Counsell. He was asked earlier this week what the biggest adjustment is. Thought you'd appreciate this soundbite on what the adjustment is for players over there.
Athletes eat a lot. They eat a lot. They eat more than you think. So when the food is different, they complain, unfortunately. But also they need to eat, so they need to get adventurous, and that's what this trip has kind of forced them to do. Again, we talk a lot about like get out of your comfort zone, and that's where the good things happen. The food part for a lot of these guys is where it's happened. I think that's a relatable story for anybody that spends some time in a different culture.
Totally interesting to think about that, like because we've all been there where you're like, okay, I got to eat something different here, or you're doing something that's not normally your favorite food. But if you're a pro athlete, you need to consume what you need to consume in order to play a game, right?
I thought Counts handled that diplomatically as well. You don't want to criticize the host country, like food's bad here, food's crazy, crazy food, or say things like that. He just said it's different. And for these guys, right, to your point, E, of like this is the fuel that they put in their bodies, which is their primary tool to ply their trade. Yeah, it's different in its adjustment. Even if you like it, it's still different.
Perhaps that explains why the Cubs are kind of getting boat rolled right now. It's only 3-1, but looks like the Dodgers are in control.
Bucks have a man down. Team announced Jericho Sims, recently acquired as part of the Chris Middleton trade. He had surgery on Monday to repair a torn ligament in his thumb. Expected to miss a month. Bucks hope to have him back in time for the playoffs. Bucks out west this week. Got the Golden State Warriors in a 9 p.m. tip, 8:30 pregame right here on your home of the Bucks, 620 WTMJ. Wisconsin on Thursday, Marquette on Friday in the college basketball tournament. Things actually get started today, though, with the first two of 4 play-in games. North Carolina, whom some argue shouldn't even be in the tournament. Some have argued that. Playing San Diego State. That's the late game. The first one will be St. Francis and Alabama State. This college basketball tournament update brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Little Splash Brothers phase was cool and all. Don't forget that the Splash Mountain stands above all.
Lopez going to cast up a long 3. And he splashes it through.
The Bucks head to the Bay to take on the Warriors.
Splash Mountain is locked and loaded tonight. The rides are free. 4 of 5 from distance.
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 8:30. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
Tired of staring at that same old garage door? It's the biggest door to your house. It makes a big impression from the curb. Got a great opportunity for you to transform the look of your home. Lifetime Door Company is giving you a chance to win. A brand new garage door, plus a new door opener, and they'll install the whole deal for $0, valued up to $8,000. All you have to do to enter, text GARAGE to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. Or you can go right to our website, WTMJ.com. It's on the front page of the website. You click on the Lifetime Door Contest. All you got to do is put in your name, your address, a little bit of information, and you're all set. Don't wait. Do it today. And also, if you know somebody else, I mean, you don't want to compete against yourself. I get that. But maybe you like your garage door. Tell a friend or one of your family members. Get in on this contest. Contest rules are available on our website at WTMJ.com.
Brewers
Brewers opening day is coming up on Monday, March 31st against the Royals. Be here for the first crack of the bat, the first pop of the glove, and that first taste of summer as we celebrate the start of a new season. The party starts pregame with live entertainment and a national anthem performance by singer-songwriter Allison Mahal. Plus, get here early for a special pregame tribute to Bob Uecker. You don't want to miss out on one of the biggest days in baseball. Get your seats for opening day now at Brewers.com.
This March, Heiser Automotive Group is putting the pedal to the metal with our Accelerate Your Refund sales and service event. Tax season is the best time to upgrade your ride or take care of your current vehicle. And we're making it easier than ever to turn your tax refund into turbocharged buying power. Accelerate into a newer used vehicle or get essential repairs and maintenance done. Plus, with Heiser's exclusive Safe and Sound program, you can buy and service with confidence, convenience, and peace of mind. Visit Heiser.com today.
See dealer for complete details.
Checking in with Debbie here at 621.
Okay, still a bit of a tight squeeze on 94 eastbound coming out of the Zoo Interchange all the way to Holly Road, where there is a broken down vehicle off on the right shoulder, causing a bit of a distraction. Once you get past that, though, you look pretty good all the way into the Marquette. For the most part, we do have a quick tap of the brakes right around 35th Street. The westbound side is clear out of the Marquette all the way into Waukesha County. Northbound 43 is backing up around the North Avenue curve all the way up towards Burleigh. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
722 on this Tuesday morning. WTMJ forecast brought to you by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. Joined live on the line now by Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky. Niz, make some sense of this for me today. We got this temperature spread where we're looking at high temperatures north of the city in the 40s, in and around Milwaukee in the mid-50s or so, and then closer to the state line, highs in the 60s?
Well, what you got is you got a frontal boundary that goes north-south, and then you have the lake. So you get both pinches from each side. So there's going to be, I think spots, down towards Lake Geneva are going to make a good run at 60 degrees, if not even like some lower to middle 60s. Whereas we're going to fight off, the effects of the lake here this afternoon as the wind shifts to the east. And then some colder air will start to try to push in here from the north as well as the frontal boundary sets up to the north of us. So, hey, a spring March setup for us. Nothing easy.
Yeah, no doubt. And speaking of which, that continues into Wednesday. You mentioned the colder air. Looks like we got rain and storms on Wednesday, but then might turn over to a little bit of snow mixed in there.
Yeah, here we go again. Very similar system that will bring us similar weather. I think Wednesday we have not only a good chance for rain, but maybe some thunderstorms again. And there's even some, lower and severe risk for us. Strong area of low pressure moving in. And then it looks like we change over to some snow Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. And I do think we could be looking at, slushy couple inches again. Probably not the surprise 6, but, enough slush that, we're going to be dealing with some mess again Thursday morning.
Yeah, Greendale at the top of the leaderboard. I had 6.4, I think.
Well done.
For a total.
I mean, that was something. And I'll take the opportunity to flat out say that was missed, by us. I mean, that was not a forecast win for us at TMJ4 or pretty much anybody across southeastern Wisconsin. I think it's best to own up to some of that. But springs can do some stuff, especially if you get a little bit of what's called convection, which is basically the same, dynamics that create thunderstorms where you get downpours and stuff. You get isolated spots that end up getting a lot more. And that's basically what happens.
Niz, a lot of spring breakers going to be heading out later this week and into next week. Anything across the country they got to keep on their mind?
Yeah, it's going to be still an active pattern here. So I think there's going to be windows for good travel. But coming out of the west will be what appears to be kind of storm after storm with this. And that could also include a couple more rounds of severe weather across the south. So just in general, an active pattern. Stay up with your forecast. I don't think we're looking at there's another one this weekend that could be interesting. I know there's a lot of travel plans, this weekend, obviously to get out of town and stuff like that. So looks like Sunday especially has the threat of rain snow mix, and there are some model runs that have more snow than rain, and we're ending up with more accumulating snow. So
yeah, just kind of stay up with the forecast on that one.
Close the golf courses and reopen the ski hill.
Right?
It's March, ain't it? I mean, it truly is March, and these spring storms are super tricky. I had to laugh at this last one with like the snow amounts. People online even just like fighting with each other with like how much snow their town got. It was really funny. Like some people in, let's say, New Berlin could have had 6 inches, whereas on the other side of New Berlin could have had 2 inches. It is all. I'll use one of your guys' best phrase. Both things can be true.
That's an Erik classic right there. Both are true.
Where one end of town, I mean, when you're dealing with this spring, almost thunderstorm stuff, a matter of miles can make a huge difference.
And then we have wildfires. Like we know Green Lake County's dealing with one today. And
really?
When we have situations with all this snow, it just seems kind of odd and unique, but it's not really.
Yeah, places that did not get much snow, which is just west of here over the weekend, are still very, very dry, dealing with that dead winter brush. And precipitation is overall down in general. So you get these days that are windy with low humidity, which we kind of had yesterday afternoon. And you get the elevated fire danger. I would just chill out on the burning for a little bit, maybe after Wednesday's storm system and then this weekend's storm system. Things will be wet enough for you to, burn off that winter brush that you usually do in the backyard or whatever your routine is.
Trickiest time of year for forecasting. Thanks, Niz. Appreciate it.
Thanks, bud.
You bet, guys. We'll see you.
Coming up on 7:30 right now, Milwaukee at 42 degrees. News about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed on Monday about 0.85%, up about 354 points to 41,842. The NASDAQ closed at 17,809. That was up 55 points, and the S&P 500 up 36 to 5675. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses, and those of us who live here. Sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining us today, Jeff Salazinski, Vice President of Insurance Operations. Well, last few months, we have had a lot of newsworthy events with an insurance angle kind of to each of them. The stream of events should remind all of us the importance of properly designed insurance programs. Jeff, tell us what you're seeing.
Thanks, Vince. Great to be here. Yes, 2025 is already off to an ominous start. A cyber data breach impacting over 60 million students and teachers, with dozens of Wisconsin districts impacted. Natural catastrophes continue to increase in both frequency and severity of damages. Although Wisconsin fared better than many states, this is no time to be complacent.
So, Jeff, why is that important to people who are listening right now?
Vince, while these events are destructive and expensive, they can be insured against quite easily. When these issues are ignored or handled improperly, they can change your life, drain your resources, maybe destroy your business. Quite simply, a properly designed insurance program has never been more relevant nor more important than today. If you're not getting good guidance from your insurance provider and they're uninformed on these issues, you're jeopardizing your assets, your business, and maybe your future.
A lot of options for insurance out there, Jeff. Why should families or businesses work with R&R Insurance?
Thanks, Vince. We deliver thought leadership around asset protection. It's what we do best. We inform you of where the market opportunities are today. We work with you to best position your account or your company for review by an underwriter. And R&R can get multiple companies competing for your account. It'll cost you nothing to sit down with R&R Insurance. If you're looking for a better insurance purchasing experience, we'd love to sit down and speak with you. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff. Just about 7:30. I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. Tuesday, March 18th, our top story. Off to the polls for many across Wisconsin.
I'm Erik Bilstad. Some things don't last forever.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Got a few pockets of heavy traffic heading through Waukesha County. One right by Barker Road, another one right past Calhoun, and then starting just before the zoo interchange, it's going to be slow all the way to Hawley Road where there's a broken down vehicle. Westbound 94 starting to slow down from 27th Street to the stadium interchange, and northbound 43 right around the North Avenue curve up to Keefe. That's your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
Milwaukee temp at 45 degrees.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Israel pounding Gaza with more airstrikes overnight, signaling an end to the ceasefire. ABC News Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz has more.
The tenuous ceasefire between Israel and Hamas over. Israel launching a wave of deadly airstrikes across the Gaza Strip, lighting up Gaza just after 2:30 a.m. local time, in the largest assault on Hamas targets since the ceasefire took effect nearly 2 months ago.
The Hamas-run Gaza Health Agency says more than 400 people have been killed. This morning, President Trump will hold talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin by phone on the ceasefire that Ukraine has agreed to. Ukrainian President Zelensky says he is convinced Putin is simply paying lip service to President Trump as Russian forces continue pounding his country. Red flag fire warnings up in effect from Texas through Nebraska. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 7:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Decision, Wisconsin, early voting for the April 1st election begins today across the state.
The early vote period runs from now until March 30th, though each local municipality sets its own early voting process in Wisconsin. Voters who need to register or re-register to vote can only do so at an early voting location through March 28th. Another important deadline is the day before on the 27th. That's the day most voters must make a request for a mail-in absentee ballot by. Those mailing those ballots in should do so at least a week before April 1st to make sure their clerks receive it before 8 p.m. on Election Day. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The school resource officer saga at MPS comes to an end, at least in the courtroom.
Now that SROs have officially started the job, the city of Milwaukee has avoided fines and contempt of court, but the state legislature still wants an insurance policy down the road.
To prevent MPS or the city from backing out of this.
Representative Bob Donovan tells WTMJ he hopes the Senate and Governor Evers will move his bill forward, which threatens financial penalties for noncompliance.
Any law that is passed that doesn't include some consequences for breaking that law isn't worth the paper it's printed on.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
What exactly are the duties of school resource officers? The president of the Milwaukee Police Association, Alexander Ayala, telling WTMJ.
We're there to enforce the law. We're not there to enforce any policies that MPS has. We don't want to, get in the middle of their policies. We're there to enforce the law when somebody breaks the law. But I don't think that stops the officers from interacting with the kids in a positive way, to say, hey, we're here to help you. We're here you can trust us.
The SROs are working in pairs at their assigned schools.
Clothing store Forever 21 might not be forever. All Wisconsin locations expected to shut down after the chain announced it's filing for bankruptcy and going out of business.
Thousands making their way to and from spring break vacations. Weather will be a factor for travel plans this week. Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Isnansky telling WTMJ the pattern appears the messiest toward this weekend.
I think there's going to be windows for good travel, but coming out of the west will be what appears to be kind of storm after storm with this, and that could also include a couple more rounds of severe weather across the south.
Complete WTMJ 5-day forecast coming up at 7:40.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 7:34.
Traffic sponsored by the shower remodel experts at Kohler Services, WI.com.
Upgrade to a beautiful Kohler Luxstone shower in as little as a day or two with the shower remodel experts at Kohler Services. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com today.
Coming up.
Somebody saw some sparks from one of your wings. You guys feel anything?
That happened on the tarmac. Hey, WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here, reminding you to subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News Podcast. We update it every day with every interview, every segment, every bit we do on the show.
Wait, we don't do bits on the show.
Oh, my God.
The Soties.
Thanks for the pretzel, Coach.
No Corona! All right, maybe we do some bits.
Be sure you subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News Podcast, presented by Tri-County Contracting.
Looking ahead to life's next adventure? Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. Whether you're buying a home or launching your dream business, we know there's a lot on your plate. But here's the thing, you don't have to go it alone. Since 1946, we've helped Wisconsinites like you secure, protect, and grow their version of the American dream. Our team is ready to tailor the perfect plan for you. Learn more at ANSAY.com. That's ANSAY.com.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. We have talked with a number of new clients who told us the same story. They had a tax situation and went with one of those national firms with the TV and radio ads. They guarantee they can settle your tax owed for pennies on the dollar. They take a $10,000 fee up front, and then you never hear from them again. We are a local firm and just want to help you resolve your situation so you can get on with your life. Don't let your bank account get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security check get garnished, or a lien put on your house so you can't sell it or get refinanced. The state can even put a hold on your occupational license. Make the right choice and call 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us today. Schedule a free meeting so we can talk and come up with a plan to solve your situation right now. It will not go away if you bury your head in the sand. Call now, 844-222-1192, or visit rightchoicetax.us.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:36.
Can we maybe get this guy back in time for the playoffs? Bucks injury update at 7:45.
Problem with the Delta flight. This one happened on a runway at LaGuardia.
An investigation is now underway after the wing of a Delta jet hit the runway as it was landing. The plane had 80 people on board. It was arriving at New York's LaGuardia Airport Sunday night from Jacksonville. As it tried to land, its left wing struck the runway. The pilot seemed unaware, though. Air traffic controllers actually pointed out what happened.
Somebody saw some sparks from one of your wings. You guys feel anything?
We didn't, but we'll check it. The pilots executed a go-around and landed safely.
We didn't feel anything. We'll check, but...
I love that. Meanwhile, the co-pilot's like, hey... They totally felt it, right? No, we didn't. I guess we'll check. They were hoping they parked that plane, next crew on board, like nobody notices for a few days.
You can't tell me a passenger wouldn't have seen. Hey, something popped back here.
Some guys out there. Hey, who dinged up the wing on it? That must have been there when we got here.
It was there all
It's like your kids parking in the garage. Hey, did somebody hit the garage? No. I don't know.
It wasn't me.
Who was the last one in the car? I don't know.
The ring camera says you drove in last.
Well, maybe. Hey, we saw sparks coming from your wing. You guys didn't nod.
I don't know what you're talking
Didn't
about.
register in here. 7:38. News is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management's Money Talk. That's heard Saturdays at 10 right here on WTMJ.
According to the census, more than 12,000 Americans are turning 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. 65 is traditional retirement age because it matches up with Medicare, but Gallup found 61 is the average retirement age. Some Annex clients retire early, but we also have clients working at 70 because they love what they do. You know why? Because they've got plans built by fee-only fiduciaries, plans custom-tailored to their lifestyle. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work building investment, retirement, tax, and estate plans in their best interest. Proper retirement planning doesn't start the week before you retire. Having a focused plan built by our in-house teams will go a long way in helping you reach the retirement you desire. It all starts with the conversation you probably already have in the back of your mind. It's time to put that into action and contact Annex. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
What would you say if I told you there's a way to add to your living space without doing major construction? Hi, everybody. Debbie Lazaga here for Comfort Awnings in Burlington, and that's what happened to me. I created more living space with a brand new retractable awning. It's created a lovely space on my back patio where I can be protected from the brightest sun and even rain. Ben from Comfort Awnings came by, helped me measure, pick out color and fabric. It was all super easy. Comfort Awnings is a local family-owned company, and I can tell you their customer service is right on point. And right now, they have a great deal for you. You'll get a free motor with the purchase of awnings or screens until March 21st. Give them a call at 414-AWNINGS for a free estimate or visit comfortawnings.com.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Bernhardt.
Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
20 to 8. How's the morning drive, Debbie?
It is a little bit on the slow side. We do have eastbound 94 slowing down right through the Barker Road area. And then we've also got more delays from the zoo all the way through to 35th Street. Now, the westbound side also slowing down from 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Northbound 43 backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue to Keefe. Southbound slowing from Hampton down past Burleigh. And then we've also got some delays along northbound 4394 right around the Plainfield curve up towards the Oklahoma Avenue area. And we have the right lane blocked on 894 eastbound right about at 27th Street with a broken down vehicle. Delays coming out of the hill. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. More areas of clouds for today and high temperatures reaching towards the low 50s as we get towards lunchtime. Warmer down to our south and west towards the state line. We'll see high temperatures near the 60s, 40s off to the north. Tonight, mostly 40. Wednesday, a crazy day of weather. We'll see the chance for showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. High temperatures in the 50s. Then it turns over to a mix and over to snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, more sunshine. High temperatures near 40. Friday, partly cloudy and dry throughout most of the day. Small chance for an overnight rain shower with temperatures in the 50s. Then for Saturday, partly cloudy skies with high temperatures in the lower 40s. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore. The Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee at 42 degrees.
Buc-ee's, Buc-ee's, Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's will be the talk of a public hearing tonight in Oak Creek. So Buc-ee's, how many gas pumps do they usually have?
120.
All right. 120 different gas pumps. Very popular truck stop, car stop for a lot of people when they travel.
Kind of a place that it's not just a place you pull over and gas up. It's a destination in and of itself. People will travel specifically to this locale.
Kind of like the Pine Cone for you.
Yeah,
kind of
a little bit. Right. Mandatory stop. Right. You go there and you get the brisket. They're known for a lot of their food.
So public hearing,
line.
They're going to hold a hearing today about, changing the land use plan, a category there from business park to commercial or whatever they have to do. So you could expect there might be some folks there that will want to speak or at least pay attention to the hearing.
Now, I should warn you, I am a state debate champion 3 times over and extemporaneous speaker.
So that lady among those who spoke at a previous hearing in Oak Creek about the matter. Basically, people are worried about light pollution or noise pollution coming from this place because it would bring in cars and trucks through all hours of the day.
Buc-ee's is a great establishment. I just don't think it was meant to be 1,000 feet close to a residential area. A tourist destination, that's great. We're not Wisconsin Dells.
So we'll see how it goes today. Everything indicates that this Buc-ee's will move forward. However, there have been issues. Even recently, there was a Colorado Buc-ee's plan that fell through not too long ago. And there was a Buc-ee's that was supposed to come to DeForest, and that one still hasn't gotten off the ground yet. So obviously, until the shovels break ground, you never know what might happen at these places.
To give some credence to the residents' concerns, there aren't a lot of folks who live near there. It's largely industrial. This is southern Milwaukee County. It's Elm Road is the exit.
27th.
If that's not familiar to you, it's because, but inside about 10 years when we rebuilt I-43, there wasn't an exit there. So in fairness to the folks, few as they may be, this residential pocket that's right near there, never expected to have anything there because there was no freeway exit. I'll grant them that. Of course, one of the reasons you build a freeway exit is this becomes a stopping point. It opens it up for development. Please see story about IKEA 10, 15 years ago along that same stretch. So
we'll see how it goes
that's the battle
tonight.
Shaping up.
It would. All signs indicate the Buc-ee's will move forward, but as you know, still got a process here. We'll see how the sausage goes tonight as it continues to be made.
7:45, sports up next.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi. I've been on this weight loss journey for about 4 weeks, and I've already lost 20 pounds thanks to my amazing team at Milwaukee Weight Loss. My wife's on board. Kathy loves it, and we are both feeling more energized.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Our front closet, no longer a closet. Vince Vitrano here for Inspired Closets Milwaukee. My wife and I wanted a more functional, more attractive space where our old sort of Brady Bunch style front hall closet was. My friends Katie and Dan from Inspired Closets helped us design this new space. We were collaborators in the whole process. It gets rid of the closet door entirely. It's now opened up our front hall, provides even more storage, and now it's a feature in our home, not a detraction. And this is why you work with this local team. They'll sit down and listen to you, respond to any of the needs or thoughts that you have, work with you to cut the clutter and calm the chaos. Inspired days start in Inspired Closets. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
So is the plot still thickening, or is it over now?
The plot is thick. Not thickening, it's thick.
Yeah, we have a thick plot, if you will, when it comes to the Brewers infield. There was a lot of talk. We even had a story yesterday from Dom in Arizona over what would happen with the infield. Well, now it looks like it's going to be at least set for now. Bryce Terang, who was talked about moving to shortstop since Willie Adames is gone. Well, he's got a sore shoulder. He's going to sit for a couple of days. Sounds like they're not going to move him to short, at least to start, because of that. So they're going to keep him at second base, according to Adam McCalvey from MLB. So that means Jory Ortiz will be your shortstop, at least for now.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right, yeah.
And there's also nothing that says that once everybody's fully healthy, you might want to tinker a little bit.
Yeah, which is fine.
It's fine.
Yeah. Brewers fall to the Padres 14-8 on Monday. It's Brewers and Mariners this afternoon. This game we have on WTMJ Radio, so we got some spring training action starting at 3 o'clock. By the way, the Major League Baseball season has started. It's underway.
Happening today on Wisconsin's Morning News.
So, yeah, the Tokyo series is underway. Cubs and Dodgers, and the Cubs about to lose. L.A. leads in the ninth inning 4-1. There's one out, so that game was soon to be over, and L.A. will be
not giving the Cubbies a chance.
No,
at all. No.
It's very Craig Counsell-esque actually to have a one run on the board and team that's not hitting. But anyway, so they play again tomorrow, and then that's it. So then these two teams will fly home and start with the rest of the regular season a week from this weekend, I believe. Right?
Listen to this lineup for the Bucks: Warriors, Lakers, Kings, Suns, and Nuggets, all in this Western road trip, which begins tonight. Golden State tonight, 8:30 pregame, 9 p.m. tip here on WTMJ. Bucks are not back home until a week from Friday. They'll be without Jericho Sims, perhaps for the remainder of the regular season. Sims, injured in Saturday's win over Indiana, had surgery Monday to repair a torn ligament in his thumbs. The Bucks hope to have him back in time for the playoffs. College basketball tournament gets underway today. What about I thought Thursday, Friday? 2 of the 4 play-in games, which is a relatively new invention.
5 or 6 years old at least, right?
So those 2 of those 4 playoff games are tonight. St. Francis and Alabama State, followed by North Carolina versus San Diego State. Now, Wisconsin plays on Thursday afternoon in the opening round. Marquette on Friday night. This college basketball tournament update brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Knicks and Heat on Monday night at the Garden. The game was stopped halfway through because of a situation on the side of the court. Someone got sick. Here's how it sounded on ESPN.
Little delay here. They're cleaning up courtside. I believe a fan lost the contents of their stomach courtside. And it is currently being dealt with.
Yeah, so a fan got sick on the side of the court there, and it was comedian Tracy Morgan who was sick. They had to wheel him out of there, stopped and had to clean up, if you will, afterward and everything. Don't know what's wrong with him. Haven't heard his condition, but had to wheel off the comedian because he got sick on the court side during the game.
I'll save you the trouble of looking up the video. Like, he was sick enough that he didn't try to stop it.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like there did not appear to be any attempt on his part to contain that, which was
so
forthcoming.
Hopefully he's feeling better today.
Right. I do hope that. That was a mess. 7:50 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. We talk a lot about the unprecedented quality and service you get from Pella, but talking to the people who work there, you can tell how much they genuinely love what they do. Pella's team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the sale. And right now, take advantage of windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Certain restrictions do apply. This offer ends on March 31st, 2025. Get started today at PellaWI.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Checking in with Debbie here on the Morning Drive.
Okay, we have eastbound 894 still with the right lane blocked at 27th Street because of a broken down vehicle. So that's slowing things down out of the Hale all the way to that point. The westbound side a little bit slow, heading right past from 27th Street past Loomis. Southbound 43, watch for backups before Hampton all the way to Burleigh. A little bit through the Marquette as well. On the northbound side, slowing down out of the Marquette up to Keefe. Eastbound 94 riders, that slows down basically from 84th Street solid all the way through to 35th. Westbound's backed up from 20th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. A mix of high temperatures today. North of Milwaukee, looking at highs in the 40s. Around the city, mid-50s, and closer to 60 close to the state line and far west of Milwaukee. Mostly cloudy tonight, low down to 40. Rain and storms likely on Wednesday, shifting over to a rain-snow mix overnight. Maybe some slushy accumulation when we wake up on Thursday. Right now, 42 in Milwaukee.
Idea Man.
Am I right a lot? Sure. Am I wrong occasionally? Maybe.
Innovative.
It's a different era. When Ted was the GM, you never really even thought we'd get into the free agency game.
And Packers Hall of Famer.
Goody is a lot more selective, but he has been very good. He's brought guys in on free agent contracts, and he's paid big dollars. Most of them have been not only base hits, home runs.
It's time for Tausch on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Fellow Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
Mark Tauscher on Wisconsin's Morning News, sponsored by Kohler Services and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
All right, Tausch, so we have a mystery to provide to you.
Okay.
Story from last week we'll update everybody on. So in Slinger at the Piggly Wiggly, there at the Pig, if you were shopping, there was a display for Shanky's Whip, which is a liquor display there, and they have a emu, which is part of their display. And it's like, what, a 4-foot-tall standing emu, right?
Yes. Stuffed creature of sorts.
Yeah. So it kind of looks like it's taxidermied, but probably not a real...
Probably not.
Anyway, so the emu disappeared. And they checked back on the surveillance camera, and they saw two people in broad daylight take the emu and put it in their car and drive away with it. And Shanky's is upset about it, said, hey, this is a mystery. You got to find these bird nappers who took the emu. Well, we have an update. Slinger police are now telling us as of this morning, Tausch, that there's a reward being offered for information leading to the discovery of this missing emu.
So A lot of questions with this.
Figured.
I guess the first thing is, if you're going to steal an emu, first off, why did you pick that emu? Is it just that you were in Slinger and that was available to you? But I guess the other part is, why would you do it during the day? If you're going to try to get away with it, why would you try to do that? And then how big – are you talking like one of those, like the Paul Bunyan deal up? I think that's up in Eau Claire, where you have that monster Paul Bunyan, or there's that big steer. That's another big outdoor exhibit. How monstrous was this thing? And was it something that you towed with a car? Did you shove it in the back of your van?
No, specs on the emu, Tausch. It's 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
So think of it as part of an indoor display, maybe some signage, and then a bunch of bottles of whiskey there for, what is it, Shanky's
Whip? Now, what we should point out, though, is that there is speculation that, okay, this is just a gimmick by Shanky's Whip to enjoy some marketing. However, Vince and I both believe that Slinger PD would not be involved if that were the case. There's like a case number for this, and Slinger PD posted on Facebook about it. I think they're probably smiling a little bit about it, but at the same time, we don't believe Slinger PD would be involved if this was just a marketing gimmick.
You would hope that they're not, and I'm not going to make any accusations, but I will say if you're looking to go viral and do something of this nature, this is a good way to do it. So, but I don't think unless there's some type of ownership in Schwenke's bourbon or whatever this thing is, you would hope that that's not the case, and you would think too. I think if you're a cop, you're probably thinking, are we going to put our resources into this if there's other stuff going on? But you're getting some PR for your town. I don't know. The old saying always goes, any PR is good PR. Would this be considered good PR?
Oh, I think for sure.
Yeah.
I think to your point, though, about whether or not it's on the top of the docket for Slinger PD, probably not. Like, they didn't mention it at roll call. Like remember all the cop shows would always have roll call. Hey, they got the picture. Still looking for this perp out there. I had personally reward for whatever guy puts a collar on this emu.
And be safe out there.
So my question to you guys, you two do a lot of, you go chasing eclipses, and I don't know how your last one went. But if it was you two, and you two did it, I'm not accusing you of going to Slinger and grabbing this emu, but at some point, do you just try and drop it back in quietly so that the story goes away? Or are you double down now and holding on to this emu for dear life?
We thought that it would show up like in Town Square, or someone would pop it on the top of Little Switz or something over there.
Create an anonymous X account and post pictures of said emu all over the place. It's at Holy Hill. It's doing all these things, seeing the sights.
Yes, that'd be fun.
So, we're in a quiet zone where if you didn't mean to be hilarious with it, then why don't you just, dump it off, no questions asked. Leave it on the steps of the PD.
Yeah, I think back to like when, I was a kid and there wasn't all this video surveillance and some of the dumb stuff. I guess if you're going to do this in today's day and age, you're not going to get away with it. I think that, but it turns out maybe in Slinger you do, because it's been a week and we still haven't gotten the culprit.
For anyone who would like to see the suspects, we do have broad daylight pictures of both of them.
And the emu.
Just text the word emu, EMU, to 855-616-1620.
It feels as if this might be a PR stunt. If there's pictures of it and all, you're telling me there's no digital footprint that these people have that people can't track them down. This is fishier. The more you talk, the fishier this story gets.
Hopefully an update tomorrow. Thanks, Tausch. He does raise a good point there. Like, nobody knows these two.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's pretty blatantly obvious that who these people are, if someone knows them.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Spirit Airlines expands its routes from Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport starting in May. The airline offers direct Thursday and Sunday flights to L.A., Baltimore, and Nashville for as low as $74. Gateway Technical College, which serves Racine, Kenosha, and Walworth counties, dissolves its Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion while eliminating its vice president of DEI. The college cites Trump administration directives. Canadian manufacturer Vulcan Plastic plans to expand in Pleasant Prairie. as the company broadens its manufacturing capacity and expects to add 83 employees. I'm Rich Kirchin with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 8:01, I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. Tuesday, March 18th, our top story, back to class for Milwaukee police.
I'm Erik Bilstad, the most important phone call on the planet.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Eastbound 894 at 27th Street. Right lane still blocked because of a broken down vehicle. So delays coming out of the Hale interchange all the way to that point. We've got delays northbound 4394 right around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma Avenue. And then back on the brakes crossing through the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. Southbound is slowing from Hampton down past Burleigh. And the westbound 94, you're looking at delays from 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. And then again, just west of Highway 100 into Waukesha County. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
High temperatures ranging from the 40s to the north, 60s to the south, under mostly cloudy skies. Mostly cloudy tonight, low down to 40. Right now, 42 in Milwaukee. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Milwaukee Public Schools began the week with 25 school resource officers officially on the job. They are at 11 different high schools.
MPS and the city of Milwaukee appeared in court for a final hearing.
I'm granting a request from the city to purge or vacate the contempt order. They've complied, so there will be no fines going forward.
Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge David Borowski dismissed the case with a stipulation.
Subject to reopening in this court, not in somebody else's court, but in this court. I'm not going to allow another judge to handle this.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
School resource officers, I should say, will be working in pairs. The president of the Milwaukee Police Association, Alexander Ayala, tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News why that strategy is important to the union.
Because you always want to work in a pair. My many years in uniform, sometimes you work with a partner, sometimes you don't. And having a partner, I think, is better for both the officers and the students, for personal safety.
So SROs will be used to enforce the law, but not school policy.
Fire of more than 700 acres is still burning in Green Lake County. They're calling it the Big Island Fire. And it started Monday. It's still burning on state and private lands. A couple of families have been evacuated, but no injuries, no structures lost. And the DNR says there was not, at the time, any sort of prescribed burn in the area.
President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are going to see today if there's enough common ground to move ceasefire talks with Ukraine toward a possible deal.
Former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Stephen Pfeiffer says the two sides may not be near compromise yet, but he thinks there's a chance if Ukraine gives up some territory and Russia stops opposing a security guarantee for Ukraine.
Because they don't want this war then to break out again 2 or 3 years down the road after Putin has rebuilt his army.
Pfeiffer says what President Trump does may be significant.
The United States as the broker is leaning towards Russian positions.
Michael Toscano, CBS News, Washington.
Judge demanding to know why the Trump administration, what he says, ignored his ruling to turn around flights sending Venezuelan immigrants to a prison in El Salvador. CBS News White House correspondent Wajia Zhang.
Tom Homan is President Trump's designated border czar.
We're not stopping. I don't care what the judges think. I don't care what the left thinks.
We're coming.
Ultimately, Boasberg will decide if Trump can use the Alien Enemies Act to deport immigrants, which does not require standard court proceedings. A big part of the White House's reasoning is they say the immigrants are dangerous gang members.
Plaintiffs filed a lawsuit to halt the deportations, asked the federal judge to force officials to explain under oath whether they violated the court order.
Also, following breaking news from overnight, Israeli warplanes have launched airstrikes across Gaza, the largest since their ceasefire began in January. BBC's Yolan Nell.
Israel said it was hitting dozens of Hamas targets, with officials suggesting that the operation was open-ended and expected to expand. Israel will, from now on, act against Hamas with increasing military strength, the Prime Minister's office said. Senior Hamas security and political figures are reportedly among the dead, but doctors say many children were also killed in the airstrikes.
The Gaza Health Ministry says more than 300 people have been killed.
Coming up, Houston, we're coming home. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:06.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Get prepped and ready for a lush lawn this season with great deals at Fleet Farm. Save $5 on all Scott's Sun and Shade grass seed in convenient 3, 7, and 20-pound bags. Scott's Turf Builder Crabgrass Preventer with lawn food is just $69.99 after rebate. Plus, Field and Forest denim jeans for men, perfect for yard work, are priced right at $9.99 and up. Stock up on all your seasonal lawn and garden supplies at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:07.
Milwaukee, one of 8 regional sites for the upcoming NCAA men's basketball tournament.
And it's a great opportunity for the city to show off for first-time visitors. Dale Koinga is the president of the MMAC.
19,000 visitors is the number. You're going to see a lot of jerseys. You're going to see a lot of folks downtown.
Visit Milwaukee projects a $3.5 million economic impact, but Koinga sees a greater long-range opportunity.
And these tend to be a lot of younger fans here, and so when you're talking about companies that are trying to recruit folks here and they get a sense of what Milwaukee's all about, this is a great opportunity for the city.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
First and second rounds of the tournament played in Milwaukee Friday and Sunday.
More than 9 months after their planned 8 days in space, 2 astronauts are headed back to Earth right now, with splashdown expected later this evening off of Florida's Gulf Coast.
I'm Peter King. Their flight started last June 5th with much hope for Boeing's new spacecraft.
Let's put some fire in this rocket.
Problems with the Starliner's thruster rockets pushed NASA to have Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams stay aboard the space station until they could return on the more proven SpaceX Dragon. The trip home with 2 crewmates started early this morning.
And undocking confirmed.
Splashdown is expected just before 6 Eastern Time in the Gulf of Mexico, about 70 miles south of Tallahassee. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
And it's going to take a minute before you're going to see them doing all the media stuff we would anticipate, because told it's brutal.
The readjustment from being weightless for 9 months and now
coming back to Earth. Yeah. So it might be a day or two before we see them.
I have breaking Summerfest news.
Happening today on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Remember, there was one date on the American Family Insurance Amphitheater stage that
July
had not
4th
been
date,
filled
right?
for the big headliner. Yes, Independence Day. So just announced Bad Omens with special guest We Came as Romans to headline Summerfest Friday, July 4th, American Family Insurance Amphitheater. Tickets go on sale on Friday. 8:09 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Your stress-free spring break trip starts in your driveway with Go Right Way, Wisconsin's largest chauffeured fleet. Start your vacation as soon as you leave your house by letting Go Right Way handle your rides to and from Mitchell Field or O'Hare. Luggage? Go Right Way has it. Traffic? Go Right Way handles it. Parking hassles? You won't miss them. Go Right Way's professional, on-time chauffeurs are background checked and their vehicles are premium and meticulously cleaned. Your journey starts with a ride you can trust. Book your ride today at GoRightWay.com.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement.
We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
I'm attorney David Gruber. We've helped injured Wisconsinites for more than 30 years. Trust our hometown team to get you back in the game. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
8:10 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Debbie, what do you see on the roads?
Well, got some backups eastbound 94 from 84th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. The westbound side slowing down from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 43, watch for delays from Hampton Avenue down past Burleigh. The northbound side slow out of the Marquette up to Keefe. We've also got some backups on 4394 northbound right around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma Avenue. And they're still working on this broken down vehicle on 894 eastbound right about at 27th Street with the right lane blocked. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast for today, a mix of high temperatures. So if you're north of Milwaukee, we're looking at highs in the 40s. In and around the city, about 53 degrees for your high temp. And then south and west of the city could see some 60s today under mostly cloudy skies. Mostly cloudy tonight, low down to 40. And then rain and storms likely on Wednesday. Right now at 42 in Milwaukee.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here are your hosts, Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
This morning, powering the future. Erik, you notice I have openly opined on this show as to whether our strategy of shifting increasingly to renewable green energy sources is compatible with our increasingly electrified society.
Right. We keep plugging more things in,
yes.
right?
The more things we plug into the
Batteries.
wall to charge everything from our phones to laptops and tablets to power tools and cars, the greater the pull on our electricity generating capacity. Can this coexist with an increasing push for things like wind, solar, among other green energy sources? I want to get into that this morning with We Energies in studio this morning. We have Brendan Conway, Director of Media Relations, and Dan Krieger is with us, Executive Vice President of WEC Energy Group. Thanks. Good to see you guys both. Morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so let me start with the premise that you heard me just lay out, and then we'll get into our energy needs and how we provide for all of them. But to my opening question, really, is demand for electricity on the rise, and is that a challenge as we would expect that to continue moving forward?
Demand is on the rise, so any way you look at it, demand will double or triple in the next 30 years from the combination of all the things you talked about, right? We're electrifying, there's cars going in, we've got a lot of new load coming into southeast Wisconsin. We have an all-the-above strategy. So some of it is renewables, as you brought up. The key to all of this is it's an all-the-above strategy. So we want this to be as reliable as possible and as clean as possible. Our portfolio strategy takes the wind and the solar and the batteries, and it backs them up with quick start, limited duty, very modern natural gas plants. We call those the linebackers. So the idea is the line is the zero carbon energy, right? And when the sun shines and the wind blows, we're fine, and everybody's happy, right? But when the sun isn't shining, the wind's not blowing, and there's a lot of surge in demand, that's when these quick start gas plants turn on. They come on, they hit it hard, and they come right back off when the wind starts to blow.
Talking with Dan Krieger here, Executive Vice President of WEC Energy Group. So I want to get more into the natural gas and the quick start that you mentioned, what that is and how it works. But let me have you give us the numbers on wind and solar, these renewable energy projects. Either one of you can tackle this. What sort of investments have we seen over the last several years in that neighborhood? I mean, I know there's a huge solar plant that's recently come online and other things.
Yeah, no, we've had a number of solar plants in just the past few months. So we've invested billions of dollars, and keep in mind, We Energies has long time been the largest investor of renewable energy. First ones in the state with big wind farms. We own all the largest solar farms. We have the first battery facility come online this year, and then we have billions more planned in the future. But as Dan mentioned, as we all know, the sun doesn't always shine. It's going to go down, and the wind doesn't always blow. And so what's the common sense solution to that? And that is having dispatchable or quick start plants, and natural gas plants are what the industry has done and what makes a lot of sense for southeastern Wisconsin.
And before I ask again about that, you are still on track to eliminate coal as an electric generating fossil fuel by what, 2032?
Yes.
You don't have, I didn't just
There
pull
you
that
go.
number out. I was confirming whether or not that's accurate.
So our plan is to eliminate it end of 2030. We'll have some backup capabilities. We'll have one plant that'll run until 2032. But that's the plan, is to take the coal out.
Is power, whether it's coming from a wind farm or coming from someplace else, is it still providing the same, forgive my ignorance, electricity to a house or to anything?
Yeah, it is. It's the same power. So what changes, though, is the variability of it. And there's plants that we can control and tell the plant to run and how much and when, and plants that we can't. So again, we're happy with this all-the-above approach where, look, when the wind's blowing, we're happy to take that power. But the grid is instantaneous. So when you want to turn your lights on or you want your factory to run or the church to have power, it has to be balanced all the time. And whenever there's an imbalance, we have to use those controllable plants to make that happen. So it's all the same.
The reason that it's, I don't want to call it controversial, but that we're even still talking about it, though, is one of the things that you want to do is increase your natural gas capacity. Is that right? And every time you propose a new natural gas plant, folks say, well, wait a minute, what about wind? We shouldn't be doing that. We should be doing these renewable energies. So what I'm hearing you say is it is part of a strategy. Yes, while we continue to invest in these renewable energies, we also need to make sure that we can have power for, what did you say, double by 2050?
Yeah. If you look at the EIA, there's numerous global institutes that are out there, and that's the projection is power consumption will double or more, and that's U.S. and global. To your point, though, it's really an all the above. It's common sense, right? So we understand that people have different views, and as you pointed out, power really is all the same regardless of where it comes from. Our plan makes our grid here in southeast Wisconsin more reliable and more clean than ever by the time that we're done, right? So we're going to meet all this growth. We need the gas to do it. So we're happy to take the solar and the wind. But with all the new load growth that's coming, our first job to all of you is to make sure the power is on every day, every hour, regardless of the weather. And that's why we need the gas plants.
Brendan, when we talk about quick start gas plants, what does that mean? They're offline when you don't need them?
So a coal plant, it takes a really long time to get up, a really long time to get down. So coal's an example of what you wouldn't call a quick start plant. But natural gas, some of the new technology, yes, it's like a light switch. You can get up in minutes. We have some of these already in our fleet that have been for a few years. They work great, and that's what these would do. And as Dan talked about the imbalance, you have to have a balance because if not, that's when you start the grid goes down. Right? If you have too much of a low voltage, it's catastrophic. So it really is a critical need anytime, but particularly critical for our customers. When it was really, really cold in January, can you imagine if we didn't have the ability to keep your heat on, your lights on, when it was negative 15 degrees, right? That's the scenario we have to avoid. Or like last summer, the example we gave recently in a press release we put out today, last summer when it was 100 degrees still at 10 p.m. with the heat index. So there was no sun at 10 p.m. Let's all be very clear. There was basically no wind across the Midwest. And so because of our plants, we were pumping out thousands of megawatts over each hour to keep people cool. And so that's what we're talking about, the critical need.
And what about costs as far as the homeowner or the renter, as far as what are they paying for power, where it's coming from, or how it would need to be coming from?
Well, part of what we're doing is we're retiring the older, less efficient fossil plants. It costs a lot of money to keep those plants running. Some of those units were built in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
So imagine that 1960 Mustang your buddy's got in the garage. It takes a lot to keep it going, and you're not taking it on the highway, right? So we got to take those plants and retire them. We're avoiding immense expenses that customers would have to keep those plants running. The new plants are going to cost a little more up front when we put them in, like a mortgage. But over time, there's tremendous savings to customers over the 20-year forecast.
Talking with Dan Krieger and Brendan Conway of We Energies. So when can we, ballpark figure of it, I don't know that, I'm sure there are a lot of folks who are listening right now who said, my energy costs are never going to come down. You talk about realizing savings out in the future, but will that ever trickle down to me on my electric bill? Will I actually pay less in my rate? Is that a reality, and when?
What we look at it is comparing to the cost of continuing where we're on. So we're expecting, maybe as much as $2 billion in savings over 20 years. So as Dan mentioned, right, there's some upfront costs, but also as we have more renewables that we're using, it costs $0 to buy the sun and buy the wind, right? But it does cost money to buy coal and nuclear. So as we are using less and no coal, we will not have those costs. As we use less natural gas, that cost goes down. And so those days, a day like today is a great example. It's pretty sunny, it's pretty mild. This would be a great day for renewables to carry a lot of load. It would be a very cheap, quote unquote, day, right? Because it would be buying very little fuel. So yes, the cost savings over those 20 years compared to doing nothing. And again, doing nothing would also mean probably not being able to keep the lights on.
How much power are we wasting? Are we as consumers efficient at all? Are we always leaving lights on, or does that really matter?
Have you been to my house?
Yeah,
clearly.
My kids are listening.
I have 6 kids.
Turn off the
so
light.
yeah, I walk through the house, turn the lights off. That's hard to say, right? We have programs available to customers, homeowners, and small businesses for efficiency. So we will do those efficiency audits. In terms of the grand scheme of things, it's probably not a meaningful difference.
Dan, we've talked before about the future of renewables, also including your ability to store energy that is generated when the wind is blowing. Where are we at long term in being able to take, okay, on a particularly windy day when we don't need all the electricity that's been generated, can you store that somewhere and then spit that back out into the grid when you need it?
We are making progress in that. So our first utility scale battery installation goes live in May in Paris. So what it is imagine shipping containers full of batteries like are in your car, but acres of them, okay? And so when we have excess power, excess solar, excess wind, we'll charge those batteries, and then we'll discharge them mostly at night. So what happens here is we're building the solar, and when the sun's shining, it's great. But when the sun goes down, the power from those fields drops fast, right when you all are going home, or normal people are going home. And they're turning on their TV and their refrigerator and their microwave, and they need all this power. They're lowering the thermostat. That's when we'll discharge the batteries. We call that sunshine after sunset. And when the batteries are done, then we'll use the gas plant. So it's a very it's an elaborate system, but it's very efficient. I will say that in the last 20 years, I think 17 of the 20 years, one of our Wisconsin utilities has been named the most reliable utility in the Midwest, several times the most reliable utility in the country. And we're competing against, the San Diegos of the world. So it's quite a compliment to all the people and all the investment that we've all made in the grid here in Wisconsin.
Dan Krieger, Brendan Conway from We Energy is with us this morning. Thank you both. Really appreciate it. Interesting conversation. Oh, last thing. Ever a time when we're entirely free of fossil fuels for electric generation? Entirely free.
I mean, I think what we have is a net zero plan by 2050. What everyone says is we all know how to get to that 80% by 2030. What's that last 20%? Is it nuclear? Is it fusion? Is it some new technology that no one knows about? I think that's what there's a lot of money, a lot of investment, a lot of time and energy being put into it.
We'll have you both back in 2050. Okay, you got my email.
Thank you all.
8:22 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Debbie, what do you see on the roads?
Well, we've actually got some delays along eastbound 94, continuing from about 76th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. So just give yourself some extra time there. And we've also got westbound 94 slowing down from 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Northbound 43, as usual, delays basically from before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up towards Keefe. I'm Debbie Lazigo with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tired of staring at the same old garage door? Vince Vitrano here, Lifetime Door Company, wants to give you a new one for free. Your chance to win by texting GARAGE to the WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620. All you need to do is take a picture of your garage door or get creative. Tell us a story. Register to win, and you can pick the door of your dreams. Valued at up to $8,000, text GARAGE to the WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620. For contest rules, visit our website, WTMJ.com.
The wait is over. Brewers baseball is back. Time to pick your Brewers games and get back to the ballpark for tailgate traditions and walk-off wins. Be here for opening day. Come back for the big games and the best giveaways. Where else would you want to be? Brewers tickets for the 2025 season are on sale now. That's opening day and every game, all summer long. Get on board for the show today. Grab your seats at brewers.com/ticket finder.
Tax tips are brought to you by the Neal Group. For less stress with the IRS, visit nealgroup.net. That's NEAL Group.net for a free consultation.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. Tax tip number 2. Have you been preparing your own tax return? Are you considering hiring or engaging someone else to do the return for you? Maybe you have an unusual situation this tax year, like inheriting some property, required minimum distributions, starting a new business, or acquiring some rental property. If you decide to use someone to prepare your return, be sure they sign as the preparer and give you a copy of the return. The law requires preparers to sign and provide a copy to you. Avoid preparers that immediately promise a refund without looking at any of your information. And if something feels off, ask the preparer to provide their PTIN or tax preparer identification number. If they can't or won't give it to you, run away. For more information on this tip and other tax tips, go to neilgroup.net or stop in and see us.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. The IRS has you in their crosshairs. We are local and know how to deal with the IRS and state to solve your situation. Just the other week, we successfully removed the target on Nick to get $194,358 of taxes and penalties removed. This is why I started Right Choice Tax Resolution, to help people fight the IRS and state. You don't know the ins and outs of all the taxes they can charge you or the more than 150 penalties they can impose on you. Make the right choice and call us at 844-222-1192. We want to help so your bank account doesn't get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security garnished, or a lien put on your house. Get rid of that stress and get back to enjoying life. The situation won't go away if you do nothing. Call us at 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us right now to book a meeting.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's spring jeans sale is going on now, and we have a great selection of quality name brand denim at unbeatable prices. Like men's Rustler jeans, $14.99. Rewards members pay just $13.99. Get a free $15 Blaine's gift card with every $50 purchase of Lee or Wrangler jeans. And men's Wrangler 5-star jeans are on sale, $21.99. Rewards members save an extra buck. We've got the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Ready to tackle your home improvement project this spring? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. Visit extpros.com today.
Traffic is sponsored by the shower remodel experts at Kohler Services, WI.com. 826 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
So the timeline has changed for Gene Hackman and his wife's death. Authorities investigating the deaths had told us that Betsy Arakawa had passed away, and then he had died maybe a week later. That's just kind of what they thought from when they looked at, they did the studies of the remains when they found them. Of course, you recall both were found dead inside their home, and there was question as to whether or not they died from carbon monoxide poisoning or if it was something else. Well, they had said, okay, well, she had died on February 11th. Well, on Monday, a doctor in Santa Fe said, no, she called me on February 12th. So she couldn't have died on the 11th. So I guess that changes everything now. So here's what the doctor says. Mrs. Hackman didn't die on February 11th because she called my clinic on February 12th. She called me a couple of weeks before her death to ask about getting an echocardiogram, which is a heart scan, for her husband. So she called on the 12th. They tried to call her back a couple of times, and she did not answer. And they confirmed this. The police said, oh, yeah, looking at the cell calls here. Yeah, she did call this number, which would look to be the clinic on the 12th. So, yeah, that makes sense.
So it probably doesn't change anything substantially in terms of the investigation. However.
But, yeah, the question is, well, why did we already know this? Can't we just run the numbers on that cell phone? Like, wouldn't that just be standard op?
Yes.
When trying to figure out a timeline?
That's the issue here of, like, what sort of police work is going on down there? Like, you didn't think to just check, oh, look, a call was placed from this phone. Let's call that number.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Schindlinden's office. Yeah, hey, it's the police.
Right.
I see a number called to here. Yes, I talked to
this doctor.
Right.
So they updated that, and they have said that, okay, well, we can confirm that, she was at least alive on this day. We can confirm that Hackman's phone was utilized on the morning of February 12th to call a medical center in Santa Fe. The sheriff's office told the Today Show.
And we can't confirm we've been operating under the wrong day.
I mean, again, it doesn't really matter, but at the same time, just odd that, okay, could have just checked that to start.
Makes you wonder who's running the show down there.
Hey, wouldn't that even be one of your first things? If you were,
Yeah,
investigating
cell phone first.
anything. Hey, well, did she make any calls on her phone?
Right.
Okay, well, let's
last known incoming call, last known
Yeah.
outgoing call. This call went out. That was the last time the phone called out. Let's call that number.
Yeah. Well, here we are.
Well, we ultimately got around to it. Right. What's the
And
problem?
now the timeline has changed.
Coming up on 8:30, and we've got bottom of the hour headlines up next from ABC and your local forecast. That is also just ahead.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Take a look at the forecast. We've got 50s, maybe some 60s today. Winter returns again tomorrow. Are we shoveling or are we playing golf? Are we slipping and sliding or are we playing tennis? Well, regardless of what your plans are for this spring, keep Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin top of mind. You don't plan for injuries, but you can rest easy knowing you know where to go and that you'll be in good hands when you get there. Now available 7 days a week for walk-ins or 24/7 virtually. OAW specializing in total joint, spine, and sports medicine. Not only is Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin convenient, but you should also know 19 of their docs, 19 OAW physicians named recently to Milwaukee Lifestyle's top doctors of 2025. Start at orthowisconsin.com.
For people with disabilities, an opportunity can make all the difference. Get help navigating the transition into adulthood, employment, housing, healthcare, and more with Thinkability Wisconsin, a resource hub that empowers people with disabilities.
I am super glad I have Down syndrome. I love my life. Don't be afraid if you want to have a job and live on your own.
Live life to the fullest. It all starts when you say yes. Contact a Thinkability Navigator to get help at thinkabilitywi.org.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. But it's simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After a really simple sleep study at home, in my own bed, they determined the root cause of my problem had to do with my sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. I didn't even know I had a breathing triangle until I went to see Advent. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, and my wife and I are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows, when you breathe well, you live better.
We are Outdoor Living Unlimited. We put cool stuff in your yard. Patios, decks, pergolas, outdoor kitchens, screen rooms, even in-ground pools. You dream it, we design it together, then Outdoor Living Unlimited installs it for you. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
8:33, I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. Tuesday, March 18th, our top story. A long saga in Milwaukee coming to an end for now.
I'm Erik Bilstad, heading home from outer space.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. We do have a broken down vehicle in the right lane on 94 eastbound, right about at 68th Street. So that's going to be tying you up from 84th all the way past that through the Stadium interchange. Northbound on 43 backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up past Keefe. Southbound's just a little slow right through Capitol Drive down to about Burleigh. And then we've got a couple of broken down vehicles, one on 41 southbound at North Avenue, and then another one on 894 northbound right about at Lincoln Avenue's on-ramp. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast for today, high temperatures in the 40s north of Milwaukee, right around the mid-50s in and around the city, 60s to the south. Mostly cloudy, low down to 40 tonight. Right now at 42 degrees, and from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Milwaukee Public Schools beginning the week with 25 school resource officers now officially back on the job. They're at 11 different high schools.
MPS and the city of Milwaukee appeared in court for a final hearing.
I'm granting a request from the city to purge or vacate the contempt order. They've complied, so there will be no fines going forward.
Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge David Borowski dismissed the case with a stipulation.
Subject to reopening in this court, not in somebody else's court, but in this court. I'm not going to allow another judge to handle this.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Israel is relaunching airstrikes in Gaza, and according to the Hamas-run Ministry of Health, 170 children have died since the strikes began. This after humanitarian aid and electricity had been cut off to many portions of Gaza. Dia Ostas is in Gaza City.
Suddenly, the bombs started in the middle of the Gaza City, where are a lot of people and a lot of residents here. And minute by minute, the bomb cycle expanded to involve Rafah, Khan Yunis, Gaza City, and north of Gaza Strip.
Israel says it broke the ceasefire because Hamas refused to agree to the terms of releasing the remaining hostages and have not ruled out sending ground troops into Gaza again.
At this hour, 2 sidetracked astronauts on their way back home.
Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore climbed through the hatch of the International Space Station and into the SpaceX Freedom spacecraft last night. Early this morning, Rob Navius at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston announced,
"Undocking confirmed. Freedom is free of its moorings."
Williams and Wilmore, along with fellow American Nick Hague and Russian cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov, began their 17-hour trip back to Earth, with splashdown off the Florida Gulf Coast scheduled for this afternoon. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Happening tonight, Buc-ee's and Oak Creek. The Oak Creek Common Council are going to consider a comprehensive plan land use category at a public hearing later this evening that would bring the popular truck stop to Oak Creek. It would be brought up near Elm Road and I-94.
Thousands making their way to and from spring break vacations. Weather could be a factor in your travel plans. Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Isnansky.
I think there's going to be windows for good travel, but coming out of the west will be what appears to be kind of storm after storm with this, and that could also include a couple more rounds of severe weather across the south.
Time for news about your money. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Off the opening bell just minutes ago, everything falling at the moment. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down about 114 points to 41,725. S&P 500 at 5639. That is off 36 points. The NASDAQ down more than 1% at 17,588. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:37.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
Julie Granger is the president of Junior Achievement of Wisconsin. Julie, your organization has business technology from James Imaging Systems. Yet today, please tell us about Junior Achievement's unique mission.
Junior Achievement of Wisconsin has a mission of inspiring and preparing young people for success in a global economy. We serve students anywhere from kindergarten through 12th grade, and we just started serving young adults 18 to 25.
I understand financial literacy is also an important part of your mission.
Financial literacy is critical to the long-term success of every individual so that they can plan their futures and they can live their dreams.
To help turn those dreams into reality, how can everyone get involved?
We are looking for people who are willing to donate their time, treasure, and talent to the organization.
What's the first step?
The best way to reach us is through our website, wisconsin.ja.org.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Vince Vitrano here. For Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we talk a lot about the unprecedented quality and service you get from Pella. Have a conversation with some of the folks who work over there. They talk about how much they love what they do. Maybe you go out and see them at one of the home shows and talk with the Pella employees. They know they're fulfilling people's dreams in some cases. This is your dream house, your forever home. Pella Consultants, they take the time to listen to every customer. They want to find the right solutions for your home. They know everybody's situation is different. So maybe you've got an older, even historic home that you're renovating. You want to keep the look exactly, or maybe you want to try something new in your home. Maybe you're talking about a new build entirely. The Pella designers work with you to customize windows and doors perfectly. They'll match any one-of-a-kind abode. They're with you from start to finish. It's like calling your friend anytime during your project. Hey, what about this? What about that? Just checking to see if this is on track. Right now, you can take advantage of windows as low as $22 a month, doors as low as $89 per month. Certain restrictions do apply. And this deal ends at the end of this month. Get started now at PellaWI.com. Eric, when is the spring general election?
April 1st.
It's a trick question. Because, yes, Election Day is April 1st, but it's also maybe today.
Happening today on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Yeah, spring general election is April 1st, but happening today, clerks can begin offering early voting, or more properly and technically called in-person absentee voting. This is the kind where you go to the clerk's office, city hall, village hall, town hall, or some other designated site that the clerk's office has created. You cast an absentee ballot. They give you the absentee ballot, but you fill it out right there. The clerk or a clerk's deputy, someone who's working there, serves as your witness. They collect the ballot from you right away. They store it, and then they count it on Election Day. So it's absentee voting, but you're doing it in person, hence the name. Now, think closely about what I said just moments ago. The law in Wisconsin is clerks can begin on this date offering this service. Can begin. They are not compelled to do that. The law doesn't require any clerk's office to offer this in-person absentee voting or to expand hours or to have alternate sites. It just says, it's up to you, clerk's offices. Here are, I guess it sets the floor, right? You can start here. You have to end here. Whatever y'all do in the interim, it's largely up to you.
And it's different county by county, community by community.
Yes. So Waukesha, for example, you can vote only at City Hall, and they have hours largely 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. I think sometimes they extend that on a Friday, but they don't have any weekend hours. In the city of Milwaukee, you can vote at 10 different places, and you can vote on Saturday, and you can vote on Sunday. I'm not suggesting Milwaukee's doing anything wrong. I continue to bring this up.
You.
It bothers me that we have boutique rules for casting your vote. Like, the rules should be the same for everybody.
If Caledonia wanted to have it open 8 days a week, they can.
They could. So, and if you live in Caledonia and you got a problem with that, right, bang on your clerk's office or whatever. They'll tell you, we are Caledonia. We're not the city of Milwaukee with a $1.5 billion a year budget. So, right, it's a matter of priorities in your community. And I think it's a fair point to say not every community, I live in Greendale. We have 14,000 people. How many of those are eligible voters? Maybe 6,000. Right. So do we need the same? Do we need to have 10 voting sites in Greendale? No. Our village clerk does a fine job, offers hours that are accessible. But I do think it's odd, if not wrong, to have boutique rules for different clerk's offices. If you can vote on Sunday in this community, how come you can't vote on Sunday in that community?
Well, demand that clerk in that community to do so.
You can do that. Statewide issues on
We're
the
calling
ballot.
Greendale after the show.
I'm fine. No, I said I was fine with Greendale.
No, but you said you wanted Sunday.
Judge Brad Schimmel of Waukesha County, former state attorney general, versus Judge Susan Crawford in Dane County. Also, the race for state superintendent. Jill Underly is the incumbent. Brittany Kinzer is the challenger. And then the statewide constitutional referendum on photo ID. Also, the three things on everybody's ballot. You will also have your local community's municipal elections. Some have some don't. I think we got some village board seats and whatever. You might have some school board going on, depending on where you live. But those three issues statewide that I just mentioned will be on everyone's ballot. Early voting can begin today.
In early voting, it starts today. Actual election day is Tuesday, the day after the home opener.
Convenient.
If there's any reason why you need to know that, just a reminder.
In case you might be down on Tuesday after the home opener. All right, just suggesting. 8:43 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Let's check in on the roads here with Debbie.
Okay, eastbound 94, a little bit tight right now from 76th Street all the way past 68th. There was a broken down vehicle that is partially blocking that right lane, so careful with that. Northbound 43, right around the North Avenue curve, going to be tight up towards Keefe. Southbound's cleared up nicely. We're looking pretty good through there as well as everywhere else. We're looking really good. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Kohler Services and Outdoor Living Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Get eyewear for everything you do at Shopko Optical. Schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. Check out new frame styles. Order your annual supply of contact lenses. You can do it all in one place. Vince Vitrano here. Enjoy the time and attention your eyes deserve at Shopko Optical. You're getting quality eye care, personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and your lifestyle needs as well. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule an appointment at a location near you.
Your European experts at Fox World Travel are ramping up and busy as ever. With the trending spring and summer European travel season, Fox European experts mean you can maximize your time soaking up the warm weather, blooming flowers, and vibrant landscapes without worrying about your travel or missing a moment. Port hop along the Mediterranean with Celebrity or Holland America, or design your own bucket list adventure with Globus. Visit us online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Your European immersion awaits.
Traffic is sponsored by the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The successful Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring positive professional servers and bartenders. You'll make great cash. Inquire today. Start next week. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Marcus Performing Arts Center revealed its 2025-26 Broadway season in a special event Monday night. Now, there are still 4 shows left in this season, by the way. But these will be the shows that will run from fall of 25 into next summer of 2026.
It's the story of America then, told by America now, Hamilton.
That's Chrissy Deers. She was in town from Broadway Across America. That program traveling shows for venues all across the country. She was in town for the season reveal at the Marcus Center. I was there last night. About 700-800 people.
Really? Oh, great.
So donors, season ticket holders invited for the actual reveal event. Hamilton probably got the biggest cheers from the audience, although it had a few contenders. This would be, I think, its 3rd time at the Marcus Center. I know it came when it was white hot, when it first started touring, and then there was a couple, 2-3 years in between, and then it was back, so it'll be back again. I spoke with the Marcus Center president and CEO, Kevin Galinto.
When we ask our audiences what they think and ask the general population in the region what they think of the Marcus Performing Arts Center, and the number one thing that comes out is Broadway.
And Marcus Center also announced its dance and jazz seasons, which are important, oftentimes featuring local artists as well. But the Broadway shows, as you heard Kevin say, biggest attraction.
Sure.
Always. So Hamilton is part of this 9-show lineup that was announced. Hamilton comes in late January of 26. Marcus Center is celebrating 30 years of Broadway shows with Broadway Across America. Now, a few more highlights from Chrissy Deers, who works closely with Milwaukee and all the other cities where they do these things to put on a season.
You don't have to say this just because I'm here, but do we get the good shows in Milwaukee?
You do get the good shows. I mean, we're bringing Kimberly Akimbo, which is the Tony Award-winning Best Musical from 2023. It's fabulous. It's wonderful. It's got a lot of heart and humor as well to it. But Monty Python Spamalot, which was just revived on Broadway, lovingly restored for Monty Python fans. But it's a great mix of shows. And Anne Juliet is just a crowd pleaser. I'm so excited. I'm like Kevin. That's kind of be the one I'm most excited to see.
So you heard her mention Kimberly Akimbo, Monty Python Spamalot, and Anne Juliet. Not Romeo and Juliet, and Juliet. Have you heard about this one?
I have not.
So this is super hot on Broadway right now. It's a musical with contemporary pop titles.
Okay.
Songs that you would recognize from the radio. And I'll let Kevin explain the plot a little bit.
Modern take on if Juliet hadn't joined Romeo in his demise.
Spoiler alert, if you hadn't seen it.
And there's a lot of contemporary pop songs in it, so people are going to be very familiar with the music, but it's a fun look at if she had a second chance to kind of go through life.
Yeah, so if you hadn't seen Romeo and Juliet, see, they all die.
Well, dang
But-
it.
and
or if you
Juliet-
had read the book.
Right, as if she wakes up, sees Romeo's dead, and doesn't off herself, and lives her best life thereafter. Kind of an interesting premise.
With contemporary music?
Yeah, so titles that you would recognize. For the Family, Mrs. Doubtfire actually kicks off the new season. This is a musical that's based on the movie that opens September 30th. And then around Thanksgiving, they're bringing Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical. I just love those because they're opportunities to bring younger kids into the theater. We saw Elf last Christmas season. We saw Frozen as well the season before.
Yeah.
My favorite part about seeing Frozen at the Marcus Center was all the littles in their Anna and Elsa dresses.
Yep. All dressed up in their
Right.
costumes.
So that's how you get your start. Going to the theater, going to a show. Kimberly Akimbo, don't know a ton about that show. I believe it was described as a young girl or teen who's trapped in a body that is aging beyond her actual years. So she
comedy or
I think it's funny and also takes you inside teenage angst and all of these other things. But a lot of talk about that show. Hadestown will be back in March of 2026. The Wiz, this will be the Milwaukee premiere. They remade it for Broadway. It's coming to Milwaukee for the first time. Then once again going into summer with Anne Juliet and Spamalot. I mentioned Hamilton in 26. That's an anniversary year for America. 250 years since the Declaration. So they're going to play that up.
That's cool.
It's going to be a big thing as
Okay.
Hamilton tours
Yep.
into 26. And I think we're missing one, Eric. That's 8 shows. I said it was 9. Do you hear that? Do you hear the people sing?
Here we go.
This is a behemoth. Les Mis, October 28th of 2025. Kevin told me this is the #1 most requested Broadway show by Marcus Center patrons. They are asking him every season, is Les Mis coming back? Is Les Mis?
Wow,
Well, it
and-
was here last year. No, is it coming back this year?
And we looked this up. Les Mis was just here not too long ago.
Not too long ago. So it's a frequent on the circuit. It's the most popular Broadway musical of all time, and it will be back.
It's a good
as
show.
well.
It is a good show.
You heard me asking Chrissy about getting the good shows. It's a balance. So what is touring? What do we want in Milwaukee? What can they provide? What's going to be in the neighborhood? All of those things.
Can you take me inside how it works with Broadway Across America? Do you campaign for certain shows? Do you have a list every year that you're like, I'd really like to see this?
We have a running 4-year list, and so we work with Broadway Across America, we've been working with for so many years. They're taking shows nationally, and they have routing, and so they're looking at where the shows are routing from and where it might make sense to come here. But also we have lots of conversations about what makes sense here, right? What things haven't premiered here that probably should, what shows, how long has it been since a show has been here, and does it work that way? So, and it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle, but when it comes together, the beauty is right there, and we take great joy in it.
So there's your 2025-26 season. Still a bunch of great shows this season. Closing, don't forget, late summer with the 3-week run of Wicked. One more time before 9 o'clock here, Debbie.
All right, eastbound 94 is going to be a little bit tight from just east of 84th Street all the way to 68th. That earlier disabled vehicle is now gone. Westbound 94 seeing delays through the Stadium interchange, and northbound 43 from North Avenue up to Keefe is where you're going to see delays. Southbound's looking clear. 41's good. East and west, through Waukesha County, east and westbound 94 looking just fine. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Steve Scafidi is your guide through the world of politics.
Does the government have the rights to detain them and then expel them from the country based on what they say?
So the answer to that is no.
On the Political Power Hour.
Almost categorically.
Why do you say that?
The First Amendment does guarantee speech, including for permanent legal residents like Mr. Khalil.
Weekday mornings from 9 to 10 on WTMJ.
I want you to get in this contest. I want you to get a new garage door, a new door opener, and free installation, a package valued at $8,000. Somebody is going to win this deal. And to enter, you just text garage to the WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. My friends at Lifetime Door Company are providing this amazing opportunity. You go to our website, WTMJ.com. It's right there on the front page. You click on the Lifetime Door Contest. You enter your name, a little bit of information, maybe tell us a story about how much you hate your current garage door. And then you are in the contest. And I don't have current numbers in front of me, but let me just put it this way. I like your chances of winning. So get in the contest right now. Text garage to 855-616-1620 or click on the Lifetime Door Company contest page right there on the front page of our website. Full contest details and rules are up at WTMJ.com.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Are you over 18 years old, over 280 pounds, and interested in participating in a clinical research study? If so, you may be eligible to participate in a research study involving MRI scanning. You may qualify to participate if you are 18 years of age or older and not employed by GE Healthcare, are able to hear and understand English, are over 280 pounds, are not pregnant, do not have any tattoos or permanent makeup, have no implants with the exception of permanent orthodontic retainers and breast implants. Pierre O'Godden is a principal investigator for the study being held at 3200 North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Study scans are investigational, and the use of these devices has not been cleared by the FDA. The study is not being performed for diagnostic purposes and is not intended to replace your medical care. Your appointment will last up to 4 hours, and for your time and travel to GE Healthcare in Waukesha, you'll be offered a gift card valued at $80 per appointment at GE Healthcare's MRI facility. To learn more, please call GE Healthcare at 262-312-7855. Again, that's 262-312-7855.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
8:56 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Brewers open the season on, is it March 28th already, E? Right? It's
coming up.
And then the home opener is the following Monday, March 31st. But the Major League Baseball season is already underway, and already this year, the Cubs are 0-1.
Yeah, they lost to the Dodgers in the Tokyo
Outstanding.
series. I think 4-1 was the final. So, yeah, Cubs now 0-1 to start the season.
I like that start. It's good for me.
Yeah, it helps the Brewers out,
Sure,
too, right?
right. They're already at the bottom of the standings in the National League Central. They play again tomorrow.
Yeah, they got one more game in Japan between those two teams. And we have Brewers baseball this afternoon right here on WTMJ, 3 o'clock start.
Next up, the WTMJ Political Power Hour with Steve Scafidi. We're out for a Tuesday.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Spirit Airlines